Hello. YouTube chat is being weird. What is this? Sign in to chat shenanigan. What do you mean? Oh no. Sign in to chat. It doesn't go away. Why it not go away? Why is it there? What happened? Why it look like that? I can like crop it if I want to, but then like, it's gonna be like one message at a time. What happened? What happened to YouTube chat? I guess I can. Never mind. I think I may have a way to fix this. I might. We have to actually have to see how I'm gonna fix this. So I think what I'd have to do. Then I need to like. You've been fixed, YouTube. You've been fixed. Now I just have to now keep an eye on if the chat at the bottom is actually like the first chat or whatever. Also, I think it's actually this is like a slight line on it. Wait. Hey, expenses. Shepherd's pie. Holy moly. Okay, YouTube has been fixed, I think. Interesting. I don't know what they did, because I mean, I can say the way that YouTube, like the overlay chat for YouTube works is all kinds of weird scuff. But it's also the only way to make it work so that the emotes on YouTube chat actually look like emotes and not just the string of text that the emote is called. Twitch didn't update the page? Or like the stream title and stuff? I updated it from OBS, maybe it's bugging out. Let me go to Stream Manager. It's updated on mine. You might just have to refresh. On mine it's updated, so. Oh, I had this page open with the stream. Oh yeah, I guess you sometimes switch. Twitch usually doesn't do that. YouTube does that a little bit more, like, frequently, but new streamer. It's true. Also, I see that herb emote. Except I did think it was Ember for a moment. They really do look similar, don't they? Even their names have similarities. What did they mean by this? What did they mean by this? I did get a haircut. I'm bald now. Look, chat, I'm bald. I got it today, like some hours ago. I kind of had to get one. It was starting to get a little long and difficult to, like, handle. And my hair was kind of damaged. And also I have like presentations and stuff tomorrow and Friday. So I didn't really want to be there all unkempt looking. And also Christmas is coming. So then, you know, like, clean myself up a little bit before lots of meeting of family and whatnot again. Take off the glasses nobody could recognize, right? Who this? Who is it? Ah! Strange man on stream! Ah! Also, it's a little bit like... There was some product in the hair, and it's also made it a little bit spiky, almost. It's very up and high right now, instead of being a bit flatter, because it has, like, some stuff in it. Perry the platypus. A streamer? A streamer? The streamer, man! No way! Anyway, should we start the game? We'll probably try and keep it slightly shorter today. We'll try and focus on just reading through some stuff. I thought we could do, because I don't have like significant amounts of gameplay stuff to do in a way. All the gameplay stuff that I have to do is just be like doing more of the same that we've already done. Like either exploring stuff, which is like in a beta, do I really want to explore everything? When the full game is going to come out at some point. And then also, like there would be more playing around with maybe essences or gear upgrading and stuff like that. 20 stream streak, wow. We were. Why is it not even, okay, why is it not, it didn't even pop up on Twitch chat, weird. Play the beta third time this Friday on PS5. I do not have a PlayStation 5. I did not try to enter myself into the beta for it either. It would not have made much sense. Yeah, so we have the archive files, like the full-on archive files, and then yeah, we have like operator files and audios and stuff like that, which are probably the all right. I did also. Yesterday I spent some time doing a little bit of exploration stuff and spamming a couple of side quests. So now we're getting updates on those. And this was so that I could get some extra money. This was so I could get some extra money. Hey, there's hello. So that I could actually have enough for the last 10 on Red Woman. We have enough. We can do the last 10 on Red Woman. Which I did have to, I essentially had to do it like a tiny bit of grinding. Oh, I had something. I missed a weapon, wow. I think that only gives you missed weapons and like purple essences or something. I don't think it gives you like everything. If you miss like minor stuff, it just does not give it into you. Let me buy some of these. So we also won't spend time like running around through all the dailies this time because many of them are already kind of at the point where for a beta, I don't necessarily need to focus on grinding out like all the dailies. If my plan is pretty much just to level up like one more team for Surtur. Actually, I can get enough if I just do some visits. I can get enough for the Arsenal tickets. Add more messages. I get 1 billion messages. Hello, Shahi. Chatbot. What's this? Oh right, because probably some of these. Yeah. Actually, this might be the indicator. Obviously, some of these only pop up for. I was like, why have I not had any text with Shahi yet? It's probably these are probably trust blocked. So some of these messages also only pop up once you have enough trust. I'm very good. No, it says you're online. Oh no. She's kind of smart, but also kind of dumb. Speaking of, there was a fun little bit of characterization for Perlica in one of these. Wait. Yeah, here. They were talking about like weird recipes by the Landbreakers and like originium slug secretions and stuff. And don't tell me you already tried some. Guilty as charged. I did not expect the this goofy little characterization for Pearly. She was just so curious about trying a weird concoction. Channel was trying to be considered as a channel with an AI girlfriend. Well, no, what the hell? Nyankat? Is it actually just... It actually is Nyankat. But what does it make? Is it just... It's just loads of... Sandleaf? It just rotates Sandleaf? This part here isn't even like connected? This is just a dead end bit. Nothing will even go here. This one as well. I like how there's like random pipe splitter. I guess these are the Pop-Tart sprinkles. Why didn't you connect? Why aren't these connected with like splitters and bridges? I mean, maybe you tried to and it just didn't work out. Well, I mean, I gotta save it. I mean, Christ, I would be stupid not to. Wanna do this daily because it gets our dailies done instantly? Where is it? No, here. Okay. Among Us blueprint. I'm sure there's multitudes of Among Uses. Pollute the blueprint ecosystem. It's like a virus. It spreads. Forward this blueprint to 3 of your friends, or you will be met with bad gacha luck. Wait, that's actually genius. Actual in-game memetic virus.
War is never
What do they want me to do? Oh, fireball. Oh, I have to kill these guys first. Oh, I also did do the last world level upgrade, which means that some of these enemies are now high level, one could say. Many of them are just like 80, but my units are still like 70. So Chen just does good damage. Give me some fire buckle. Up. More. Here. More. Hidden, almost. It is kind of nice that you just collect them and then it does it. You don't have to like take them somewhere specifically. 2011 gaming. Yeah, I have stamina. Did I just get this? Oh, it's a friend request. I thought the second there was gonna be the Among Us. But here in Archive, we obviously have a bunch of things to read. And then, yeah, operator files and stuff as well. We should choose our ambience, however. Because I'm not gonna... I have, like, rare growths and stuff full. But I actually have enough of the items now that I can level up a team, I'm pretty sure. And if I don't, then I can just quickly run and get more of the things that I need. I'm actually more limited by the items that need, like, you know, stamina grinding rather than the mushrooms and stuff. Anyway, we should choose our ambience. We can go to lo-fi wooling beats to read lore to. Oh, so that is one thing that I have now noticed. Just like a little technical thing. Load times are a bit worse now than they were in Beta 1. Beta 1, I feel like the load times were really good no matter where you were going. Now it's a bit slower if you're loading into like bigger areas like this, or if you're loading between maps. Like inside of a map, if I just go like here, it's quick. But then if I switch maps, I think even within here, I switch maps, it's like noticeably slower. There's still not egregious load times, but sometimes they take a bit. There it is. Amogus. Can't even scroll enough to see for it to be. This is also. Wait a minute. This does something. Wait a minute. This makes gear. It's a useful blueprint. It's an actual producing blueprint, though. That's almost like against the energy. It should be like the vibes should almost be just it's completely useless. But you can have a Mogus. Maybe I should go. Actually, can I just go place these real quick? Do I have enough space here to place these blueprints? Except I think they need like I think they need depot, don't they? Yeah, okay, yeah, uses some depot. Actually, no, this might, never mind, this one doesn't. Can I fit it anywhere, though? Oh, God. Oh, sort of. Almost. Oh, God. Is it really one? Fuck. Heck. The Amogus is too big. I'd have to move some stuff to make... I mean, we can try and make space for Amogus. Even if it's literally not even functional. However, also, how, by the way, how is that depot just there? The depot is just like there separately. Anyway, I need to move some stuff. I need to just move this out of the way. Now we have space, so it's fine. Where's my Amogus? It was upside down. Okay, never mind. Doesn't. No depot bus. You have to connect it. It's not a completely functional one because you can save the depot port thingy, but it doesn't have the part that makes it work, so I can't even place it. What about Young Cat? Which is, oh god, even bigger. Oh god, it's even bigger. It also needs the depot buses. No, I can't place them. Because I'd have to change everything. Wait. Oh, nope. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We can, because this is actually not needed. I'm not actually using this bit right now. Nor am I using this bit. I can just connect it to here. Never mind. We can get one of them going. Oh, beautiful. Construct all the things that I need. Young catters. Amazing. We had room for one of them because you know how the depot sections work. Arknights use them fighting Tallulah and it's a pain in the ass. Tallulah is, however, appropriately difficult. She's like truly the I feel like she's the final, like kind of what would you call it? Oh my god, what's the word? What's the term? Lesson or like rite of passage of Arknights is Tallulah fight. It's also just an insanely cool fight with incredible music. It's like still actually one of my favorite boss fights in Arknights. It just has an energy. Alright, okay. Anything else for us to do? I guess, okay, the one thing we could... In fucking Valley 4, we don't even need money. Here, we could at least get some money so that I can maybe play around with more gear at some point. Wow! Really bad? What the hell? Plus 64? Everything's so expensive. I guess I'm just better off waiting. Never mind. Everything's so expensive. Never mind. I'll just do this. And your logos is just cheating for Tallulah. Logos being able to just remove the fireballs is extremely funny. Also, I just transferred it. I'm so lazy. What a guy. Also, I still have so many. I still have so many of these. Like, just side quests. They're infinite, never-ending side quests. That maybe is a little too many of them. Anyway, should we actually do this? So, because obviously we're just at a guarantee. Also, so I mean, I'm pretty sure I know. I have actually done Quarry. I did actually do Quarry, by the way. I just did it off stream. I just ran through it real quick off stream. But I did actually go there. We did all of Quarry in Beta 1, and it did not seem very different. Quarry seemed almost unchanged from Beta 1, for better and for worse. Vibes were still immaculate. As in, the vibes were near Automata, which is immaculate. Yeah, so here, I just want to... I'm pretty sure, right? I mean, we'll check that if it happens, but this indeed should reset along with the guarantee here. I'm fairly sure. Which maybe could be one thing that could be different about it. Go singles. Technically, I could. But if I don't use these, I won't get like the full 10. If I just don't, because I... Actually, I don't need 16 of them, but... I can't do a full 10 with just these and not using the tickets as well, I think. Actually, I can, but... You know. Then rage bait Twitter with 119 pulls. That's the wrong kind of rage bait, though. I don't want to rage bait that half, because, like... That's disingenuous in the wrong direction, because it makes Enfield look worse. It needs to be... The way that it has to be is that it's specifically making the haters look worse. That's what the rage bait has to be. You know? Am I reading the guard item skill correctly? Yeah, you might be. She does a guard item. It does have a lot of res and attack and whatnot if you can get the conditionals. The conditionals are just like not the easiest to get. Anyway, it's not very exciting because we know we get her. We know we get her. Oh, trip. Oh, a 2 5-star as well. Wow. 2 5-star. What? 6-star? No way. I wonder who it is.
Opsy 7 skirmisher, Florida.
Who could it be?
And
Also, where the 5-star dupes. I actually wouldn't mind some of the like Chen dupes or something.
Team Z7.
Greetings. I'm your operator
Small Shine.
from Rhodes Island. Codename Snowshine.
Snow Shiner. Ember, surely. I mean, yeah, it is Red Woman, right?
Why do I have...
Also, is it literally gonna be the last one as well, by the way? Is it actually gonna be like
Got anything to
120 specifically?
I am Ikut.
Oh,
Call
okay.
sign is ARKNIGHT. I am not a trained weaver of words.
I think it is. I mean, actually, it's almost better that it is exactly 120. If you get it at like 119, so you're one off the guarantee, it's like, I mean, what's the fucking difference?
Haven't we met already?
What?
Doesn't matter. You'll remember me by this sword and flame.
Who? What? How did this happen? I'm so lucky. Also, it was literally... I got a medal, wow. Wow. I have not been terribly lucky on these beta rolls. Oh, good bit of Arsenal tickets though, since we got multiple 5-stars as well. Which means we can try... I have options for Surtur's sword, so I don't need hers, but I could really use one for Pog still. So, we're still just gonna do this. I have freebies that I can just get for Surtur. Also, yeah, it indeed went to... Ow. On you. And indeed, yes, it did go to... Yeah. It resets this, which could be one thing. I feel like that could be a thing. Since the guarantee is only 1, I feel like it could not reset your, like, pity otherwise. Like, not reset the general 6-star pity. Could be nicer. Just because, you know, it's a little fun. If you do indeed get, like, sort of the minimum or worst case scenario, which is where you get 1 6-star at first pity, and then you go to 120, you're halfway into a next pity, but then it, like, gets used up by the guarantee. Which obviously doesn't happen with the token anymore, right? It doesn't get with the tokens, they won't use up your pity. But the tokens also indeed won't give you, like, weapon rolls, obviously, because you just get, like, the token straight up. But obviously you get the other 6-stars instead. So that's kind of like plus minus 0. Is token doesn't give you weapon rolls, but also it doesn't use up your pity since it's just a token. Since it's the token directly. So I feel like in general, you end up with like more, whatever, more 6-stars. And more weapon currency. But yeah, I do feel like this feels a little awkward that the basic universal pity resets on the guarantee. There are still some bits. Mainly there's some bits, which I guess maybe we'll get to when we do some kind of review or something. There's just separately, the system is very good. I really like the system separate. Like, just as a thing, just the character system, I think is really good. Also, it could work closer to indeed how the AK limited system works, where at 120, you just get, like, a thing that you can use to claim the operator instead of using a pity. But yeah, so the character system on its own works really well. I feel like it encourages the correct style of gambling, which is save for the guarantee, and if you get lucky, that's just a bonus. And then you're like better set for the future. You might have to swipe less in the future if you get very unlucky. But then it just has a weird interaction with the weapon system, since right now, headhunting is almost the only way to get weapon rolls consistently. Which then, if you are lucky, you get a lot less weapon rolls, which could be a little annoying and feel a little silly. Because then it might be like, oh, I need to like put extra rolls into this without necessarily like building to anything more, other than obviously possibly like building to a token. Or, I mean, yes, building to the next pity or something, but it's just like a general pity. Which is indeed, it's only in, it is one of those things where in the form that there's a lot of things actually in beta 2, I feel, which are in the isolation of the beta 2 client and how that functions currently. There's some issues. Specifically with like the gacha and some of the gacha stuff and so on. Almost all of it is the gacha stuff. Like longer term things that like would be difficult to fix in theory, like systems. But the thing is that those systems would just get fixed depending on the economy. If the economy just supports it in a reasonable way, then there isn't an issue. If you get headhunt or if you get weapon rolls from a bunch of other sources, if you get a significant amount of weapon rolls from other sources than the character banner, then it's not an issue, as much of an issue, if you do get lucky/unlucky and don't get as many rolls, weapon rolls from the character rolls. So the system is very much just dependent. I mean, like always, fucking half of the gacha experience comes from the actual economy of how much you get of rolls and so on. But it could be an issue in theory. Like it could be a sort of in final release could possibly be an issue if it's not considered correctly. Oh, is the camera event in Wuling a weekly thingy? Huh. Oh, well, yeah, this one here. This one don't give you... If you're talking about gacha, this one doesn't give you gacha, I think. This is just for more... whatever. What were you talking about? Just hit the weapon man, couldn't be that hard. Well, that is, however, also a thing. Oh, it was just, do we have any just weekly content in general? Yeah, this is the only thing that's weekly. And then, like, some of the stores reset weekly. Otherwise, indeed, no weekly content, which very much feels like a intentionally or, like, clearly sort of missing part just from the beta experience, that there isn't some of the weekly resetting stuff, or bi-weekly, or whatever. Like, the only resetting stuff is essentially dailies. But so that is, because that's one thing indeed with the weapon banners, however, also is that it's 4% rates for a 6-star. So I feel like, especially on the maybe longer end, I feel like you'll end up fairly often getting the weapon early, just because the rates are quite high. So then if you get the weapon early a bunch of times, you'll suddenly have like a bunch of extra weapon rolls that you can save for the next time, where you end up like really lucky on the character banner and don't get as many Arsenal tickets. New trim, who this, right? New streamer. But yeah, indeed. It's all ultimately just down to the economy situation. Also, I was kind of supposed to visit friends for credits because I can buy some Arsenal tickets if I do that. What did I get here? Oh, alright, I just got a new icon, that's all. Let me go visit some friends real quick to give them production bonuses. Late for the gamba. Oh, you missed the 110 roll, yes. Which was the guaranteed 120. So, in that sense, not terribly exciting. You know? Visit your base. I literally can't, Renegade. You know this. And also, yeah, over time, you will just have loads of, like, 6-star weapons just in general. Like, you will probably end up having a lot of just generally very good weapons. Like, you will have really good alternative options for characters, even if you don't have their signatures. I feel like that's also just a big part of it. Now I can buy this. I can also buy this. Nice. Some upgrade material. DB. Weapon files. Oh, right, because we got this thing. Oh, it's for like... Weapon for Estella. Oh, yeah, if signatures don't become an extension of the character's kit. Yes, obviously. And indeed, I actually have Surtur's team ready with just a placeholder in it. Where is it?
Are always ready, as
Yep,
they
here.
never rest. Whatever comes next better be memorable.
Boop. Right, and we can also just pick a weapon for her. We have a weapon for her just ready to go in here in one of these boxes. Which one is it? I actually wonder which one of these is better. Arch damage dealt after wheel implied combustion or electrification will against arch damage dealt and arch intensity. Or then Armbolt Torch from here. We can choose. Oh, this is just main attribute. Main attribute heat damage. Attack for every enemy with combustion in the battlefield will against heat damage dealt and electric damage dealt. Oh. And yeah, this is not from the real money. This is the free-to-play battle pass. I mean, both of them work. Both of them do just work. What are the other ones here? Like, are they significantly useful on someone? Nature inflicting with low battle skill, the team gets arch damage dealt. And well, this would be for like Gibby. Because this would be for Gibby as, funnily enough, Ardeli actually can't use that one. It doesn't actually do anything. Solidification or corrosion, cry damage down. This is like Yvonne option. Okay, well, okay, I kind of see how they've done the battle pass weapons for beta, at least. The battle pass choice weapons are just alternatives for the 3 limiteds. There's Surtur option, there's Gibby option, and there's Yvonne option. So yeah, it is just indeed. We'll just grab the Umbral Torch for Leviathan. Then we still have this one as well, where you can select something for someone if we need it. I've just saved it. Oh yeah, we do have the 10 roll for next banner. Maybe in before we get insanely lucky. I do this 10 on the next one, and I just get Yvonne instantly.
Still waiting for something.
I feel like that would be somehow on brand for me. In beta 1, I got like almost max pot Yvonne, I think, by just pure coincidence. Look at that nice arc light. Nice style. Oh, look at that. The little smaller arc light as well. So nice. So nice. Snowshine? Snowshine. Oh, another new art. Don't mind if I do. Yeah, those 3 weapons are currently only in the Battle Pass crate, yeah. But it's the free one. It's the one you buy with Prime. It's not the paid one. I know, I still haven't gone Pog Sig. Pog is still running a 4-star sword, funnily enough.
Still waiting for something?
Alright, yeah, I got Max Pot Yvonne during beta 1, but the video is no longer with us. Right, yep. Your fucking shit got destroyed.
My My blades are always
I
ready,
guess we
as
deploy
they
this just so
never
that I
rest.
can also then easily
Orignium will carve a path for
level
us.
it up.
I hate fools who like to.
Let's see how much I actually have ready to go. How much can I actually level up this team? Because I have the same team that they
What's
give
this
to you
supposed to
in the
mean? Encouragement.
just like the
Approval.
trial.
Don't need those. All I did was run into a bunch of fugly things and turn them all to ash.
She's yapping. All right, you have to, it's funny you have to learn this one to unlock this one. I'm gonna run out of these.
Now that I've been promoted, my new authority level should give me a one-on.
We can do this.
How can the enemy turn the land into such lifeless
Nope, gotta put this.
devastation?
How many credits do I have? Okay, I still have 160k. We're good.
I really appreciate
I also have to unlock all
your
those, yes.
approval.
Get into us.
Oh, yepers. I don't think I have enough for the items. Never mind, I have just enough for this.
Appreciate your approval,
I
Andy.
don't have enough for
So,
Akakuri.
can I skip the mission report this time?
I'm out of shit, man. I'm out of materials, man.
Come on, let me do.
It's crazy.
This is what an
At least I have
elite
XP
briefing
okay,
looks
but I'm
like.
out of fucking materials.
Truly
Yeah, I don't really have anyone
eye-opening.
else who would... I mean, he can
You have
technically
some-
go into a heat team as well. Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, he can actually go. Anyone with active focus suffers a physical status or an honor infliction. Oh, yeah, but it requires you to use this. Oh, but also he says, oh, yeah, so it could just also be him. He could also be in the team. He works in it as well. I kind of want Akakuri in there for a little bit of extra SP, but yeah, I mean, he works in there as well. Yeah, Wolf could be on tall. Like if I, because yeah, I would want Akakuri in there for the
Strong
SP.
team is one.
And also, you know, she also has some heat infliction, but so does Wolf. And Wolf has heat infliction on like, kind of has more of it. Because this triggers on stagger nodes. Yeah, this just triggers on stagger nodes, so it's not like super often on staggers or stagger nodes. But then also ultimate gives SP.
Eccomi.
While this guy, you can apply heat infliction, or then you can consume it. But you wouldn't be really consuming heat infliction. You'd want to rather do that just with, you just save your skill points and so on, I feel like, for Surtur. Or for extra heat infliction from Akakuri. But then this, you get a free heat infliction. Cooldown 20 seconds, okay. It's just, yeah, he gives you extra heat inflictions sort of without having to use skill points. While Antal needs some skill points. I mean, Akakuri can also just be, it's just more so like, well, obviously it depends. It depends on how skill point hungry the team ends up even feeling in the first place. It might even end up feeling very skill point hungry, so you don't even necessarily need SP again. Like, obviously this just gives you, oh yeah, this just gives you forcible combustion. Just gives you combustion straight up. Oh, she also, oh, this is a funny thing that they now have, where some indeed start with like, they have like a core talent where they start with the first level, so you don't have to unlock it at all. Because yeah, here it's indeed the whole thing of Final Strike and then absorbing heat inflection. Oh, so actually, I'm assuming actually, yes, it probably does actually absorb multiple. It's not just like one per Final Strike, it actually does absorb multiple. Because I feel like sometimes you do like one Final Strike. Like in the trial, I feel like you do one Final Strike and you're suddenly just at fucking max stacks. Okay, this just increases the heat ignore. Yeah. Or the resistance ignore. And this one, oh yeah. I do like, well, obviously it's a translation of, you know, Surtur talent, kind of translation of Surtur talent, you know, immortality talent, where it's essentially, it's the face tanking talent. She gets low enough health and then she can just kind of face tank for a while. Which I feel like is, I feel like it works quite well for, especially her ult. Like when you're in her ult, You just want to kind of just be fucking face tanking and just spamming those normal strikes. And just face tank shit. So it kind of works. I think it's fun. It's a good way to do it. And this is also still something that I feel like needs to be... Well, I mean, someone will eventually. Probably not my job, let's be real. Like, looking at all the finisher multipliers and just in general, like, basic attack multipliers and finisher multipliers and so on. Like, 18 stagger. Like, if we think... Like, she uses sword. That's 18 stagger. He also uses sword. It's 18 stagger. Then what about Panda? Panda with big weapon. 20 stagger. But obviously slower attacks. Except I don't know if it's actually slower second-wise to getting to the final hit. And then you have like Snowshine, who has literally just 3 attacks. 23 stagger. So okay, they do. You do have like slower hits do give you
Need defensive cover?
higher staggers. 22. Okay, yeah. That is a whole that could just it can be a thing to consider in theory. On like who does the most stagger in with your finals, like 18.
Get into us.
Well, generally probably it's gonna be the great swords are generally gonna be doing bigger hits of stagger, which I think makes sense. I mean, it just kind of fits that they would, doesn't it? Kind of just makes sense. Oh yeah, what is fluorite? Since I bet it's just like 18 or 17. It's 15? It's the lowest we've seen? And she's so slow? Oh, that's funny. Damn, fluorite. Yeah, you need some help,
Looking for me?
fluorite. Oh yeah, last right.
You.
What's her? Oh, 25? 25, big. Yeah, fluorite's a little cooked, not
Looking
gonna
for
lie.
me?
We should actually give her her weapon. There you go.
Nice blade. Hope it can tolerate the heat
I
of
also
my
have to level
fire.
up these weapons as well. We'll see how much of this I do. It's not like we're actually gonna get this team into a spot where you can like truly test it, I feel. At this point. I'm gonna have to like farm stuff. And like I said, we'll try and keep it focused today on like the actual lore bits. I mean, yeah, we know, you know, she's gonna do most of the damage in the team, so she might as well just get whatever. I have huh? How much does he use? Autofill. Okay, yeah, sure. Whatever. Insufficient T-creds! Oh shit, I'm actually starting to run out of money? My money? I'm running out of money? None of these weapons! Oh, never mind, this one is. Doesn't she have a... I feel like she has a better one. Oh, this one just gives her intellect. Never mind. This one gives her intellect. She actually wants intellect, funnily enough. She wants intellect, so this one works. It's fine. This one could... I mean, these could also work, but this is already leveled. So, like... And it has some extra intellect on it. I'm actually becoming broke, finally. No way. That's the first time I've gotten that message of... Run out of money. Which is a little funny. I feel like in beta 1 I was constantly running out of credits. And yeah, indeed, I also did indeed check that Akakuri does indeed. Akakuri's SP generation scales off of her intellect, so it's very much worth just getting intellect instead. Per matter of when I'm building 3 teams. Well, yeah. If you start building multiple teams, then you're suddenly just low on everything. So this is kind of probably for this beta, probably this team is like the last one I really build, and even this is gonna need like a bunch of farming.
Command is yours.
Because even just
Still waiting for something?
ARKNIGHTS.
Oh, I didn't actually get him to 40.
The pack hunts with purpose.
I'm actually out
the
of...
quickest paths to victory.
A strong team is
Alright, because I couldn't do because I'm missing 1? Let me buy literally fucking 1. That gives me 8, sure.
Oh, a promotion? What an honor! Feels like a nod to me and the whole Z7 crew. Rest
Just
assured,
barely get her
we'll
to
keep
40.
pushing
I'm gonna
forward.
need so much XP as well to get this team to like the point where I can actually use it in places, because I maxed out on fucking world level. I'm cooked. I have 51k. I have no
Looking for
money.
me? You finally remember something?
No money, no XP. I'm fucking broke as hell. At least unlock this for me.
How's that for my real power?
Oh, operator XP material. Wow, that's rare. I feel like it's always weapon XP for some reason. I mean, I'll have to unlock this eventually. I'm not gonna have fucking money for these either. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of farming to get this team to a point where it can actually do something. I also have not made any of their gear. I've not made any of their gear. Where am I? Oh yeah, I'm Dijon because I was getting whatever. I was getting some credits. You can go back to Wuling for the backing music. Also, we can check Surtur's animations. Tune down my world level to 6 just because I don't have my fully built team. I might end up doing that as well. Because my Pog team can handle this world level. But yeah, any other team that I make at this point cannot yet. And I don't actually necessarily need the highest world level at the moment. Though even turning down to 6, I don't think this team can currently do it because they're level 40. Not all of them even promoted to 40. Anyway, we can check her animations real quick. Obviously. I mean, we've seen it in the trial. I really like the kick. Also the little beams on this one. Her autos are so much better than in Beta 1. Like, you know, she's kind of supposed to be like your on-field control character, but in Beta 1, she did not feel great to actually use on-field outside of Ultimate. And even Ultimate was a little bit like significantly better now. Also, she also has this thing where she has a jump back. I feel like autos which have one of the moves jump backwards are like weirdly good because so often it just lets you dodge something. Like ARKNIGHT constantly manages to dodge stuff by just outspacing it by jumping back mid-auto. Oh yeah, we should see the kick in front. I know what you want, Renegade, but yeah. Actually, there's so much smoke on the kick when you're looking at it from here. You can't even see anything. It's just like a pool of smoke, unless you stop. And we can check the sheath animations. Oh yeah, she also aura farm poses. She's another one who has like a sort of semi-perma pose, like idle pose, after normal attacks. Yep. She always returns to this pose. And then obviously, I mean, the last attack is it's just yeah, she always stands like this. Very sassy Siddiq position. Yeah, that fits her. That is her character. And obviously, I mean, we have the... This is obligatory, I think. Just waiting for it to do it, you know? No, she's just idling normally. She doesn't care. Also, I would mongrel, except I don't have Ember. No Ember for me. I only have one. Oh, now she did. Okay. I wasn't looking quite enough back, I guess. Like, the slightly wrong angle.
An
she's idling again.
Hunter can read the winds and use it to predict
Okay,
weather
Wolfguard, I understand.
or to track the prey.
She doesn't like my haircut. Oh. She really does, like, apparently her circle, her little thingy is like alive. She pets it. Okay, ice cream time. By the way, she eats the cherry on top and then just throws the rest of it away. That is crazy. That's so wasteful. Why would you do that? Watching Kiara. Kiara was combusting, yes. Also, by the just a tiny little thing, by the way. Even in just like her very, very base, when she's literally just standing and not actually doing an idle animation. I think this is for all. This is obviously for all characters. They do this. Look at her eyes. They still move around slightly. They're not just like staring. They adjust like just tiny little bits. They adjust constantly so that they're like alive. It's the little details. It's the little details. But the circle remains of the giant hold the big sword. Does she have? She doesn't have the circle in. Well, cause, I mean, yeah, the circle is very much like it's somehow related, yes, to the giant situation, because that is where it's like from. If you look at the EP art, it has a similar looking thing, and she doesn't have it obviously in her normal model in ARKNIGHTS, so. Cherry, not even cherry on top, cherry on the side, right? Also, yes, her eyes are very pretty. It's true. Hello. Hello. She instantly starts idling and doing Shiba things. Why'd she do the Minecraft villager noise? Crazy. Also, wait. I want to go to this one place. There's one place around here which has a really nice BGM. I want to see if I can find it so that we can listen to it while we read through the lore. What the dog doing, right? She's just happy to be here. She's Genki. Let me jump. No! Wait, if I go from here, maybe let me. Oh, wait, we can check the sitting pose. Sit. Oh, yeah. Yep. She's like pissed off. It doesn't let me turn the camera. Fine. I need to see her face better. They don't let you zoom that in that much on when they're sitting, huh? She looks impatient. She looks a little impatient, not gonna lie. No one else sitting? And a wolf guard sitting? What? Akekuri, what are you doing? She does just want to kill demons. She's just like, when are we gonna go kill the demons? Come on.
Just go ahead and waste your time some more.
I apologize. I was checking out your cool animations and the care that has been put into your model, and then you're like, you're wasting my time, bitch. Damn. I wanted to appreciate your modeling and stuff. Called me out like that. That's crazy. Am I winning? Well, you should be winning right now. Look, it's your favorite. See, I knew it. Look at this wasteful woman. Eat one cherry. Throw the rest away. That's fucked up. Okay, sometimes they do it like instantly. It's really quick. And look great doing it. They really did see... I mean, there's multiple things which are clearly inspired by Automata, but they really did get the, They saw how 2B reacts if you stare at her ass too long, and were like, let's give every character one of those. Hell yeah. Yes. That's a good idea. Oh, how do I... Do I need to spray this thing? Wrong one. Where's my spray? Spray button. I don't even know which... Maybe I need Ferium. I'm sure I've received a tutorial on these at some point. I don't know how the fuck they work. Do I not just spray this? Clearly not. Never mind. Maybe I haven't had a tutorial on these. Or I just didn't... Well, I didn't read it at the very least. I cannot make that jump. Oh, it's quest locked. Okay, I thought it might be just a general puzzle. Never mind if it's quest locked. I mean, we can still make it over. I think it was over here where you have a musical change. Oh, I did change. There's one point we were doing like some casual exploration and we just ran into a musical section that I really liked. It's not this one. I think it was like when we were running around here. It could, I guess, be maybe this bell. Yes, this one! It was here. Maybe it's just a part of this song. I guess it could be. It could just be a part of this particular song. Because it just sounds like this part of the song. I'll let you listen. This is just straight up DJ Okawari like beats. It sounds almost exactly like him. Now a little bit less. But see, some parts of this particular BGM just sound exactly like him. Like, did they get him to make it, or like, why is it so close? I guess this is where this is our little. We'll have some. I wonder if I could sit. Nope, they don't let me sit on these ones. Anyway, this will be our BGM as we go and read. The plunge. There's a plunge attack bug. Joy of our reunion lobby BGM. I mean, Wuling City is very. It's just all that stuff. Look at this dude with this red woman, right? Also, I can like. Oh, wrong way. I can turn down my fucking light because I'm staring at this white screen in the archive. Because obviously, well, we have some of these things where we might read some of them. But the main ones... There's some audio records, which I think these ones... We're not going to go through, like, every single one of these. We went through, like, all of them in Beta 1. Just not really necessary. That can be done in release. Because there's so many of just, like, these tiny little bits. Where, like, they're little, like... Don't necessarily have, like, loads of lore in them. More, like, very, like, more specific, maybe... regional bit, or like they're related to like a quest line or something. Some of them maybe. You think I'm gonna skim through them. This is the main place. Let's be real. These 37 Nexus files, these are the big ones. These are the big ones. And then operator stuff. Also, right, where even is the fucking weapon lore, by the way? Is it in here? Are they in here? Because this weapon lore exists somewhere. Is it in DB? Because I feel like I go to here. I go to weapon files. Open up one of these. Where is the text even? Friday for Angry Kidding Woman. Oh, it's valuable stash details? Oh, in here. Wait, huh? Oh, there. Okay, yeah. Okay, fucking hidden away? Actually hidden away? I do wonder how much of these have changed. At some point I read through like all the ones from Beta 1. It's not, honestly, not the most readable like text formatting, not gonna lie. It's just kind of a chunk, a wall of text. Yeah, all of the weapons have like an entire little bit. Some of them are short and some of them are a bit longer. Like if you go to like the very basic ones, then they're much shorter. Oop, it's just like a little one paragraph type thing. Usually higher rarities one has like, you know, a little bit more text. But yeah, the weapons fucking have lore. The weapons have lore text to them. Sometimes very specifically to the weapon, and sometimes just sort of not. Sometimes actually just world building. But yeah, our main focus is gonna be these things indeed. These are also especially like more quest related, though some of them do have like you learn more about Triagalos and stuff, or Astarion and stuff from here, obviously. But you get the full lore text only after you actually gather all the things. Which actually, also, you do get money for gathering all of these. There's a specific... These specific ones, actually, when you complete all of them, you actually get some money back. And some of them, I think, are... Some of them are quest tied. Some of them are just out in the world. But I do just wonder... Well, first of all, I'm like... I think I asked for this as a thing. Because, yeah, you don't have, like... you don't get, like, hints. You just get explore the world for more intel. They don't give you like an actual hint of maybe where to go, which could be nice for recording or like actually finding all of them. These are... Yeah, okay, these are the infiltration stuff, yeah. No, this is some actual land break attack stuff. I'll skim through this. Internal purchase. Eliminate design targets with chilling efficiency. Brenna of the Bone Crusher clan. Challenge Neferth and suffer a crushing defeat. Neferth integrate Brenna into ranks. The decision not justified by the position of the attacks. Guillotine and Will-O-Wisp. Evoking Volcano's name. A Blood Eye was found holding an invitation from Volcano. These names, man. Critical when all victims operating at the fringe of Nefer's so-called blessings. Mercenary Hearts served numerous masters. His loyalty to the clan was always questionable. Bone Crusher apparently in Jakuba's era, such specialists that relied on traditional raiding tactics. Radical traditionist ideology. Okay, yeah, indeed. Old Bone Crusher clan resisting Nefer's new order. Later signals the purge of outdated elements from the evolving clan. Yep, okay, so a little bit just like, you know, more setup of Neferith and controlling all this stuff. I guess we just go through these in order, though okay, so we have the choice, so do we just go through reconveners right away as number one, or do we just go in order down the line? And yeah, line spacing, so, because the line spacing is different because the text is not using center alignment. It's justified is the word, where it keeps a consistent, so that the end and start are always in the same spot, right? Like it's like just a straight line on the sides for the text until you like end the paragraph. Which then sometimes if there's like, you know, less text because like, oh, there's a longer word that has to go to the next line, it then makes some of the word spacing and stuff different. Which is just how this formatting works. It makes it look like nice and clean because it's just like one sort of rectangle shape. But yeah, then the spacing for words and stuff changes sometimes. Murder of a Landbreaker was actually a good question. That the end of a bit climactic. Is that the one with Thurston or? I feel like I did that one, but I'm pretty sure I skipped through it because I might have done it in beta one. For most of the side quests, I'm very much just skipping through them because it's like I've done most of these before already. I'll do them I'll do them properly again in full release. And depending on the quality of some of them, sometimes we love reading and yapping, but sometimes side quests, some of them don't necessarily deserve your time. Like, unfortunately. Especially when there's a lot of them. Enfield maybe has a little bit, maybe a few too many side quests. Where so many of them are kind of nothing. Like, they don't really do much anything. Also, small little actual map of Terra, and it's also using the hexagons. It is using the hexagons. So it's the map that we've, you know, seen before. Just obviously black and white here. Doesn't actually show all the stuff. Terra is a distant planet, the home of the present civilization on Talos 2, yet the relationship between these two worlds is profoundly complex. Yeah, some of the chain ones are cooler, yeah. It's mostly, that's the thing. It's like when a side quest is kind of just like so much nothing. And I mean, some of the longer ones maybe don't have a whole lot of like, some of them might go like too long. Like it's either side quests are so short and kind of pointless that they're inane and it's like, why was this even here? Oh, musical change. The heck? Or then sometimes they just go on too long and it's like, why are you like main quest length side quest? What are you doing? But also, I don't remember Terra even. I feel like there's a lot more of these Nexus files and just like way more direct mentions of Terra stuff than in Beta 1 there was. Which is fair enough. They might have even intentionally left less in Beta 1. Also, yeah, just like generic fetch quests. This is the thing. Some of them are just very much like, okay, yeah, I know what this is about. In the distant past, ancestors of Terran civilization originally inhabited Talos 2, later venturing to Terra where they built a glorious civilization of its catastrophes. Yeah, also, yeah, indeed. Now they're also just, this is now just straight up in here, which obviously we do know from ARKNIGHTS, is that yes, they came from Talos 2 to Terra. 152 years ago, they crossed through the Cosmic Gate once more, returning from Terra to Talos 2, while most celebrated this is paving the way, those few who knew the historical truth would whisper another term for it, the homecoming. What was that little interlude in the music, though? Funky. Now we're back to lo-fi beats. Dude, I might actually, if I can actually find a rip of just this soundtrack, this might just become like my, for a while at least, my just, like, stream yapping BGM, because it's so perfect. Do we have slug racing foreshadow? No way. Oh, that speedy slug quest. Yeah, the one that fucking rolls around. Yeah. That was in Beta 1 as well. Yeah, it's cool that it's just straight up. Also, we have like a more specific time, 152, when they crossed over for the first time. And somewhere, I think it was in a Twitter post we got. Was it Twitter? I think it was either a Twitter post or somewhere actually in game in a cutscene or something. We also got the time frame for when the gate broke, like how long ago the gate broke, so we know how long the gate was open for. It was like 5 years or something that the gate was actually open for before it broke. Oh my god, I fucking said, well, I mean several years later, so not an exact time here. Several years later, the Cosmic Gate was destroyed during the First Anglo War, severing all connection between Talos 2 and Terra. Surviving humanity could only reminisce about their ancestral home through fragmented records. With average radius probably 1.55 times that of Talos 2, Terra bears planetary dimensions far exceeding its colonial counterpart. Okay, so Terra is bigger than Talos. Which actually is kind of actually a good thing to know. It's kind of a good thing to know that Talos is... I mean, Talos is a moon. Terra is a planet. Or Talos 2 is a moon. It's kind of a good thing to know, because obviously then, you know, it also explains why, you know, in Talos 2, it's easier to go to all the different regions as well. Other than the fact there's fucking, you know, space travel and teleportation and shit. But obviously stuff is just also just closer in general. Like, it's more compact than Terra, which is big. Remarkably, the cyclical rhythms of day and night, along with seasonal variations, demonstrate negligible differences between the two worlds. The synchronization is widely believed to be the result of precursor technology, an unknown mechanism that somehow calibrated both planets' rotations to match some lost celestial template. It is this mysterious harmony that allowed Talos 2 settlers to seamlessly adopt the fundamental calendar system brought from Terra. Okay, this is actually so fucking cool. I feel like it's so cool because this was a whole thing, by the way. This was a whole ass thing during Beta 1, I think. We were debating on, okay, so how does like the day-night cycle and like how do years work on Talos 2? Are they the same as Terra for some reason? And we quite literally just have straight up an explanation of like, Yeah, shit's terraformed. Like they just sync that shit up because they were advanced enough to just like change fucking orbital periods and shit. Yeah, this is a whole thing that we were wondering about during beta 1. So yeah, it's kind of fun to just have actual confirmation of that's how it works. It's gonna take us I was trying to be quick about this. It's gonna take me 1 billion years to get through all this. We might have time to get through everything today, we'll see. Promoted birthplace of Virginium. Terra. Where the prime veins first emerged and vast crystalline clusters dominate the landscapes. Resource abundance dwarfs anything found on present-day Talos 2. At the moment humanity first crossed the cosmic gates, scholars have tirelessly attempted to determine the celestial relationship between Terra and Talos 2 through comparative astrometrics, searching the skies of Talos 2 for any trace of their lost homeworld. Yet to this day, such research has made no conclusive evidence of the pinpoint Terra's location among the stars. Yeppers. No idea where that shit is. They went through a gate and not, you know, space travel. Originium. Energy-rich crystalline materials, first brought to Talos 2 by human settlers. Exist in multiple distinct forms, serving as humanity's most vital natural energy resource and industrial material. Here, it's like, it's so spaced out. Exceptionally high energy density can be directly combusted to release power to immediate use or undergo various refinement processes for specialized applications. Hydrogen expands its vast eternal energy, leaves no residue like ordinary combustibles. Instead, it gradually breaks down into fine particulate dust, transforming as a Originium activation. Though this activated state carries the risk of spreading oripathy, such dangers have been effectively contained within Talos 2's controlled environments. Energy released by Originium can be converted through multiple pathways into thermal energy. Every proven as Originium adaptability has commanded an irreplaceable role within human economic systems. One of Terra's 3 first Originium fragments. I don't even remember if we heard in ARKNIGHTS that there's specifically 3 first Originiums. We knew there was multiple. I'm not sure if you know it was specifically 3 of them. Transported to Talos 2, becoming the progenitor of all Originium on this world. Proliferation is made possible by the mineral's natural growth properties. The key mission of the United Workers Syndicate of Talos 2 involves cultivating Originium clusters across Talos 2's surface to ensure the sustainable harvesting of this vital resource. Which seems, first of all, this seems like an fucking insane thing to do with like the POV of how fucked everything is because of Originium in ARKNIGHTS. Seems like an insane thing to do. Ah, yes, the three Originiums. Contained, that's where my problem is, like here. They've been effectively contained. Well, I mean, effectively, not completely, you know? Effectively, not completely. Like, oripathy still happens. It's just not nearly as often, and when you do get it, you have medicine that's good enough to just kind of let you live a normal life. Recent discovery revealed that Originium was artificially created as an information carrier. Oh, they put this in here. Okay. Does the capacity to reshape its surrounding environment even influence the course of biological evolution? True intention of Originium's creators towards Terran civilization remain unclear. What can be stated with certainty is that separating humanity from Originium has become, by every measure, an impossibility. You can do all this insane shit, but can't operate Originium to kill oripathy. There might be a fundamental issue in the makeup of Originium, you know? Oh, they really just put the weapon here. Originium Arts represents humanity's methodology for channeling the energy within Originium through specific techniques, directing and defined forms to achieve particular purposes. Okay, so they put this stuff now directly in Enfield. So I feel like you can even consider some of this stuff indeed like base knowledge for Enfield. Yes, it is technically spoilers for earlier in ARKNIGHTS when you don't know quite as well what Originium actually is. But yeah, in Enfield it's pretty much like kind of required prerequisite knowledge to explain some things, so. In the dawn of Terran civilization, even discovered their profound connection with Originium, and their Originium-rich environments, they could manifest various natural phenomena through sheer will. Flames springing from palms, frost forming from breath, lightning answering their gaze. A lazy reference, lazy coming tomorrow. These primal techniques become the first Originium arts. As civilization advanced, people developed specialized methods to process Originium for enhanced Originium arts. Arts units, casters, Yeah, some of this stuff is always like fairly. Some of this stuff is indeed here for like someone who enters the world of the lore of the world through Endfield. Like, there's obviously just explaining to them like the basics. An innate affinity for specific factor arts and their mastery levels. Originium art uniqueness. Human capacity for channeling these arts varies fundamentally from birth, which is natural disparities and harness the benefits of Originium much more efficiently. Humanity developed technology and encapsulate these arts within crystalline units, releasing them through mechanical systems. These innovations known as encapsulated casting units. This Originium runs into standardized technology and paved the way for the explosive growth of Originium industry. Talos 2, humanity continues to reap the convenience born from this revolutionary development. Yeah, that's probably one reason, for example, that guns are so much more widespread on Talos. Also, just a race. It's the racism file. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch. A bunch of these are, I think, just new, and we're not in beta 1. Race refers to groups of humans distinguished by shared physical characteristics. I mean, humanity on Talos 2 is classified into 3 major racial categories: the Elders, the Ancient, and the Sarkas. Oh, they just say this straight up. This is like almost like deep lore stuff. Elders and Ancient constitute the majority of Talos 2's population. Division between these categories originated from early Terran social dynamics described as nurturance and protection versus subjugation and dominion. These distinctions were based on social relationships rather than physical characteristics. When classified by physical traits and cultural traditions, typical elders include Draco, Hippogriff, Lung, and Kilin, who represent a smaller portion of the population. Notable ancients comprise Feline, Liberi, Caudus, and Forte, encompassing the vast majority of human individuals. I like how it's like, oh, it's just based on like a social thing and social relationships rather than physical characteristics. But then also, like, clearly, you know, elders is mythical beings, while ancients is normal animals, you know? Was it really just a social construct? Was it though? Conventionally, the term Sarkas refers to the majority of this racial category, with few exceptions such as Sancta and Durin, which are now indeed mentioned in tandem with Sarkas. Like the Elders and Ancients, they trace their ancestry to a distinct lineage after the Ancients, the Sarkas from the second largest demographic on Talos 2. Throughout Terran history, the Sarkas engaged in significant racial conflicts with both Elder and Ancients, putting it fucking lightly. On Talos 2, these historical hostilities have largely been resolved. However, the Sarkas now face a series of unforeseen challenges on this new frontier. Currently, Seska serves as the primary representative of Sarkas cultural tradition with the civilization. But oh, okay, that's still cool. Okay, so that's what Seska is doing currently. But where was it? Where the heck? Where did we see the bit about where like Sarkas now the problem that they're facing is that they're being seen as this kind of like workhorse race because they're, you know, physically very strong and hardy, that they end up like being this sort of workhorses. Well, some of the other races get to, you know, be a bit fancier. Was it weapon lore? I might have been. Oh yeah, oh yeah, that's probably the. Oh, some of those. Okay, that was probably in previous beta then already, because I haven't read the weapon lore for beta 2. Okay, so that's where it was. Okay, so that was already in beta 1 then. Cosmic Gate, which indeed used to be called Aether Gate. It's now Cosmic Gate. Classification of precursor transportation infrastructure whose operational principles remain only partially understood by contemporary science. Also, obviously, the existence of the precursors is now a more common known thing. Maybe not, maybe not the public populace, but I guess the sort of more studied populace. On Terra, these structures were positioned on both the northern and southern extremities of the planet's major continents. Talos 2, by contrast, possesses only one confirmed cosmic gate located at its northern polar region. Okay. So, well, so far, one confirmed one. Discovered by humanity, both cosmic gates on Terra were found in states of severe damage. So the less damaged northern structure, commonly called the Sami cosmic gate, also Sami mentioned, revealed it led to what was initially termed subspace, though this has been since determined not to be true ether side. After countless attempts and sacrifices following the reactivation of the precursor celestial calculation, a measurement device known as Celestial Fulcrum. Oh yeah, they made it Celestial Fulcrum again. They updated the translation. I think this was called something weird in a like a pre-beta translation we had. It was called something else, wasn't it? They changed it to Celestial Fulcrum. Within Terra's home star system, humanity find the innovative Cosmic Gate's paired counterpart. This breakthrough allowed the first steps onto the soil of Talos 2. Yeah, I also forgot what they called it. Celestial Pivot. Yeah. They called it a pivot instead of fulcrum. Which obviously, I mean, pivot and fulcrum are kind of the same thing. But there is something about celestial fulcrum that just sounds better, you know? Oh yeah, pivot of heaven. It didn't have celestial in it at all. It was like a weird sort of more direct translation. Yeah, it was pivot of heaven. Yeah. Paradise pivot. Right, yeah, like weird, a bit of an odd translation. Celestial Fulcrum is a much better translation. In the colonization of Talos 2, man exercised deliberate caution by refraining from any modifications to the planet's cosmic gate. No additional cosmic gates were discovered in the process. However, scientists across the civilization had widely maintained that other cosmic gates marks diseases within Talos 2's star system. But not necessarily Talos 2, but the star system. This final passage between Terra and Talos 2 remained operational for 5 years until the outbreak of the First Anglo War, when humanity lost access to the Talos 2 Cosmic Gate. Today, the Talos 2 Cosmic Gate lies shrouded beneath the aurora of Talos 2. Beyond the reach of human activity, its current condition, along with its status of Terra on the other side, has become inaccessible to human knowledge. Also, the aurora of Talos 2 is not a natural thing. It happened because of the war, I believe. Also, I can just click next. I don't have to, like, go backwards. I can just click next. Oh, here also, by the way, well, here's an image that you have in the cutscene, which obviously... It has, you know, the girl or the set of armor from the prologue, and then, you know, enderman of some kind. First Anglo War refers to the decade-long conflict spanning from Talosian calendar year 5 to 15. Okay. So I guess in year 5, then probably already the gate broke? Fought between humanity and hostile forces primarily composed of Angloid. Historical records predating Talosian calendar year 142 document this conflict simply as the Anglo War, referencing the same engagement. War divides into two distinct phases, separated by the pivotal events of Talosian calendar year 11. Okay. Was initial phase was marked by catastrophic disasters caused by the Anglo and widespread chaos among human forces. When the first 24 hours of the conflict, suddenly emerging anchor points allowed massive Anglo swarms to overwhelm and obliterate humanity's earliest settlement around the northern cosmic gate. Talos 2's inaugural city. They seized complete control of the polar region, potentially triggering the phenomenon now known as the Aurora of Talos 2, like I said, through means that remain unknown. The subsequent 6 years saw surviving human populations driven southward under relentless Angloid pressure, progressively losing technological capabilities throughout their forced migration. Fun times. What are you currently? 152, actually, I guess. Because they came over 152 years ago. That's when the first people came to Talos. So I'm assuming we're either in like 151 or 152 or 153. So one of them. By calendar year 11, the current administrator had assisted the remaining human factions in reorganizing their forces, enabling effective resistance against the Anglo incursion. This marked the transition to the war's latter phase. Following a major military campaign in Talos year 15, Anglo activities in southern regions were finally contained. Significant events during this period included the arrival of the colossal being known as Sami, the Wild Hunt Uprising. Wild Hunt? Initiated by Sami's followers and the establishment of the Oath Keepers. First of all, the straight up Sami just popped up. Straight ass? The Sami? Huh? How wild. And yeah, indeed, Enmin probably indeed popped around. Popped up at some point here, who knows? And presumably, okay, I mean, considering they like got apparently like instantly just fucking decimated, like year 5 is probably also when they lost access to the portal, because that's when the war started, and they got like instantly, within 24 hours, they got fucking destroyed up north by the gate, so. Lady in the entrance is actually Valar Queen. It's something like that. She's obviously, you know, there's many Valar Queen elements there. But is it the actual one? No. But Sami here in his, you know, the will of Sami and that kind of stuff. Arrival of the colossal being known as Sami. And then I guess separately the Wild Hunt Uprising initiated by Sami's followers and the establishment of the Oath Keepers. For humanity, major angular disasters and combat operations concluded by the end of Talosian calendar year 15. Consequently, some regard this year as the war's official end. Others maintain that the conflict truly reaches conclusion only with the establishment of the civilization ban in Talosian calendar year 17. Truly the timeline. Sarcasm. Whole mountain moved over, right? Crazy. Okay, then they did indeed. Ooh, a nice transition. They mentioned the civilization ban, and then next up is civilization ban. Civilization ban designates the collective human societies operating under the framework of the Band Accord, hereinafter referred to as the Accord. Oh, is this where we get some of the hints that everything's not quite so nice in the civilization ban? Adhering to established statutes and regulations. Civilization ban comprises various sized factions, coalitions, and organizations bound by Accord restrictions, does not accept self-declared nation-states as members. Using the Accord as its foundational framework, promotes technical specialization, autonomy among members, sustains humanity's basic survival on Talos 2, and strives for human self-actualization on this world. Individuals possessing civilization band recognized status who reside within territories administered by its constituent factions, and organizations designate band residents. Group consists of over 9% of Talos 2's total population. The largest factions are UWST, Talos 2 General Chamber of Commerce, and the Hongshan Academy of Sciences, of Chanshi Bureau of the Great Yan. Fucking long ass. Affiliated Hongshan Academy of Science of Chanshi Bureau of Great Yan. Fucking long ass name. Okay, all of these are kind of long. In the Accord's framework, these three entities collectively hold the designation of unshakable members of the Band Accord, abbreviated as U3. Widely recognized as Major 3 or the Big 3? They're shown in the mangas? What? Influencers also stand as a significant member of the civilization, but for convenience and to maintain neutrality, Dijang houses dedicated conference facilities where band members conduct general discussions regarding Accord amendments and other collective matters. Ah yes, the neutral party in the system, right? However, the neutral party apparently has a way of getting, like, supreme decisional power and authority to act and do whatever they want. Some nations just moved it. Well, maybe not. They're not the actual thing, but like, I guess, you know, culture and people might have moved. Etherside. Ether is an overarching term for describing areas where depth reading is at 1 in subterranean, surface, atmospheric, and orbital regions of Talos 2. Oh yeah, because we have our little depth ratings. Given the timescale of Talos 2, the ether side is currently overlapping with real space. Flow of matter and energy between the two dimensions has been verified as a feasible possibility. Like the timescale of Talos 2? In Talos 2, the barrier between real space and ether side may sometimes rupture to create an interspatial conduit. Now, this is the technobabble file. And in rare occasions, disrupt the very timescale itself, colloquially referred to as the rift. Depth readings near rifts typically approach 0.5, which also means that active blight has a higher probability of occurring at these places. Because yeah, ether does like whack stuff with time or something. Cultivating Reginium or deploying activated Reginium can effectively reduce depth readings in surrounding areas. It contain breaches in ether side to some extent. However, this effect lacks consistent patterns. At times, the Reginium active may instead be suppressed by rifts. Regions with active ether side phenomena, facility machinery relying on Reginium might often experience significant operational interference. Which now that you think about it, ether has weird, seemingly kind of weird effects with time and shit. I'm not exactly sure what the details are. But then obviously Originium also has a little bit of weird effects with time. You know, a simulated universe is a universe without time. What's the interaction here, huh? Is that why they're like, you know, sort of have this like effect on each other? Consequences of matter transition from reality into ether sides are random and unpredictable. What remains certain is that all biological processes essential to sustaining life experience severe disruption and obstruction within these domains. Conversely, when matter emerges from ether sides back into real space, it generates active blight in real space. Consequently, matter exchange experience between real space and ether sides face strict restrictions under the Band Accord, with the majority of related live subject testing exhibitly prohibited. Live subject testing on ether? Like physical matter, energy flows unidirectional from ether sides into real space through potential energy conversion. This phenomenon occurs even in the absence of rifts, making related studies a primary focus in the field of ether side utilization. When this energy flows exceeds certain thresholds, it frequently triggers random and uncontrollable explosions. Oh, how fun! Also, yeah, the vast majority of related live subject testing explicitly prohibited. Not all of it, just most of it. Various comprehensions of ether site remains profoundly limited, particularly since distinguishing them from known subspace. Okay. Prevailing hypotheses suggest ether site constitutes a separate universe, one quietly undergoing heat death while saturated with lethal toxins. Subspace in this framework could serve as a membrane separating ether sites from real space. Yet such theories currently lack substantiation through mathematical models or experimental observation. Dude, we're gonna get so much wacky techno babble once we start exploring ether stuff more. Shit, yeah, dude, imagine if the acronym for Hongshan Academy of Science, it wasn't just HAS, and it was Aha also Tobogi. Aha also Tobogi. And yeah, like I said, yeah, simulate the universe versus heat death of the universe type situation. And, you know, what if ether space is artificial? Possibly. Could ether space somehow be related to the observer? That's a whole separate thing, though not because observers really have not been mentioned like at all in Enfield. I'm trying to wonder where. I think it was somewhere. There's this thing of where maybe it's, I don't know if it's maybe retcon at this point, where there's indeed something about like ether stuff and blight and whatnot having like almost like a time reversal fucking shenanigan or something. Oh, Zero Earth Directive. Oh, the technical test trailer image. Confirming progress. Progress 1. Progress condition met. Authority level. Level 8. Awaken. Well, that's a short one. That's a short one. Hub base. 2 decades ago, the University eliminated the giant Angelos Astaron that dissolved the valley for a grievous cost. The conflict left region development paralyzed, creating an urgent need for economic revitalization. This timing coincided with Enfield Industries seeking a location with strategic accessibility and open terrain suitable for automated industry complex development. Mutual needs led to a natural partnership resulting in a renewable 10-year lease agreement. Construction of the hub base commenced shortly thereafter. Okay, yeah, indeed. Yeah. The hub base is indeed more directly tied to Enfield stuff, which is why it has the Enfield aesthetics. Hub base carries the critical mission of advancing automated industry complex development. Since its establishment, it's efficiently completed research and implementation of numerous projects, including industrial equipment miniaturization, flexible device deployment, protocol control systems, while Enfield Industries maintains similar facilities across Talos too. Any quantified assessment of the company's technological progress over the past 2 decades would undoubtedly rank the hub base as its foremost contributor. I'm not sure they portray this part, like, that well overall in the story of like that the hub base is indeed like significantly tied to Enfield Industries. So then stack bit, signature battlefield installation of the Bone Crusher clan. During there when Landbreakers remained united, the warlord Jakub ruled over them. His former hero who had turned his back on the civilization ban brought forth a witchcraft device known as the Den Stack from Seska. Oh, okay, so it is based on witchcraft stuff, but then like modified to be a blight thing. Absorbs blight and disperses them in mist form. When Nestacks are erected and the haze begins to spread, all Reginian-based devices within range experience significant disruption. Also, why is there a rainbow up here? What's going on here? What? I just noticed like the rainbow here. And yeah, the Dinstacks are a bit soul furnace-y. I mean, yeah, they have the vibe already, but indeed they've just been modified to work on blight instead. Yeah, they destroy original stuff. Bone Crusher clan inherited these devices. They deploy them as strategic installations to conceal raids and plundering operations. The appearance of multiple den stacks often signals the clan's preparation for large-scale assaults in surrounding areas. Following Nephrit's modifications, the contemporary den stack now enhances the combat abilities of Bone Crushers operate within its influence zone. However, when ordinary individuals inhale its haze, they experience significant physical discomfort beginning from the respiratory tract, with some developing auditory and visual hallucinations. Do we actually see this kind of thing? I don't think we see this in gameplay necessarily that much of like Oh, if enemies actually are close to a den stack, then they're like stronger or something. I don't know, maybe I just never noticed it. Yeah, I only just noticed the rainbow just being here in the archive menu. I guess, yeah, like elites have like red parts and so on, but like there's not specifically a thing of like, oh, if there's a den stack out there in the map and then the enemies are closer to it, they get like a buff. Just any enemy at all, you know? Aburi the hero, Aburi quarry, wow. Burr was an educator who heroically sacrificed himself protecting students during the Anglo assault on Valley 4 in Telosian calendar year 75. Quite a while ago. Numerous Anglo boys descended upon the outskirts of Valley 4, stretching defensive forces thing. A small Anglo contingent, I almost said continent, breached the perimeter near a school facility. Burr successfully evacuated her students, but the entities pursued relentlessly. As the retreat reached the under construction pass in what is now the quarry entrance, Burr scaled the heights to gain tactical advantage. The high ground. Utilizing explosives from the construction site, she triggered a calculated rock slide that halted the Anglo advance. Her action safeguarded both the quarry and the students, who, though she perished in the detonation that secured their escape, of course. In her honor, the UWST designated the nearly completed quarry as Aburi Quarry. Operations were later suspended when excavations uncovered a mysterious substance. The metallic structure, far exceeding humanity's current technological understanding, was subsequently named the Stone of Aburi. Mysterious substance. Oh yeah, here's the here's our Gestapo lore essentially. Gestapo/KGB. Security Bureau of the UWST serves as the internal department responsible for domestic security, external intelligence, special environment investigations, and monitoring compliance with the Banter treaties. If you ask UWST workers, when would you see the Security Bureau personnel, you would receive 3 distinct answers based on generational differences. The youngest workers would say they've scarcely encountered them, only hearing about their routine visits to production bases to verify the safety of personnel and resources. Middle-aged veterans would recount how during major expansion projects, Bureau agents would always participate in on-site committees to prevent external interference with operations. The most senior workers might share a lingering rumor from earlier times. They speak of the Bureau's establishment one afternoon when the scent of blood still hung heavy in the air, not long after that inglorious war concluded. The blood on their hands secured the Union's safety and stability to this day, while ensuring any voices contradicting the Band Accord's principles vanished into the shadows of back alleys. It's the secret police. And the Inglorious War is the humiliation war that we now heard of as a new thing in this beta. Not everything's maybe all shiny, you know? Some cracks in the background. It does indeed seem that generations of brainwashing about the Civilization Band, it does seem to be somewhat of an element where it's like, oh, the Civilization Band was formed and there's essentially like 3 big massive conglomerates that control it and also probably get to control the narrative. And then Enfield is mixed into it as well. Enfield and the Administrator are mixed into the mess. Cradle of the Ages is an extraordinary Originium marvel located deep within the original Lodespring region. During Valley 4's initial development phase, severe energy shortages threatened the colonization effort. Administrator addressed this by planting an extraordinary Originium Ark creation, a great Originium oak within the original Lodespring region. Settlers harvested branches and foliage from this arboreal marvel to establish the territory's first power plant and quarry, initiating a positive cycle for expansion. Approximately 2 decades ago, when the giant Agolos Asteron assaulted the valley and all countermeasures failed, UWST made the fateful decision to detonate the great Originium oak. Catastrophic energy released obliterated Asteron. Though only the root system remains of the Great Originium Oak today, stripped of its ability to rapidly generate Originium clusters, workers still honor this former guardian. They refer to the relic as the Cradle of the Ages, expressing gratitude for how it nurtured multiple generations in Valley 4. Right, so yeah, all these things are just like the roots of the tree. Like this is just like the base of the tree. Jesus Christ, this thing was fucking massive. If this is just like the very bottom bit of the tree. During the recent Valley 4 assault, a mere 3 fragments from the hundreds of limbs belonging to the original Asteron reconstituted through anchor point activation. This new entity, designated Triagalos, was ultimately defeated by the administrator at the Cradle of the Ages site. 3 fragments from the hundreds of limbs belonging to the original Asteron. This stump. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for, isn't it? Lumberjack cut the tree. No way. Ah, Ether test site. Ether test site constitutes a specialized testing facility directed by the UWST within the Power Plateau. UWST established this facility specifically because of the Power Plateau contained a naturally stable rift, a rift showing no observable expansion or extended periods, with minimal blight risk. During Valley 4's initial planning phase, scientists proposed developing the entire plateau into an integrated Ether Tech Research Center combining exploration, study, and application. Recommendation remained unaddressed for years. In the 2 decades of colonial development, the UWST finally certified the valley's environmental safety. Subsequently lifted the northern region's lockdown and constructed the Ether test site atop this strategically vital location. Colonization, yes, let's go. And yeah, 3 of hundreds. The Traglos is fucking one tiny, tiny bit of the original. Since the Lucian calendar year 90, the UWST has conducted a series of experiments at the Ether test site, including dimensional stability maintenance and internal Ether observation trials. And then it fucking exploded. The Utyug order. Special mobilization mechanism the UWST activates under extreme combat conditions to deploy military resources. Utyug order's activation system is deployed across various regions, typically consists of signal emitters and beacon devices. Specially designed signal emitters contain 2 authorization keycards, each entrusted to different senior field commanders of the UWST at the location. Both keycards are used simultaneously, can communication coordinates be successfully transmitted. When the signal emitter activates, the UWST receives the Utyug order. As one of the UWST's highest strategic commands, recipients automatically assume the transmission source is undergoing catastrophic military assault. Any UWST installation receiving this directive will unconditionally deploy military resources toward the signal's origin. Upon receiving coordinates, the UWST Warzone Command conducts a voice verification. If no response is detected, they initiate saturated military resource deployment. Should the response confirm specific combat parameters, they execute precision deployment of military to designated locations accordingly. It's bringing the big guns. And yep, they're very Ursus. The basic, I mean, it does seem to indeed be, you have 3 factions. The main 3 factions are like sort of more Ursus based. Then obviously, you know, just capitalism based. And then obviously Yan based. I'm mainly wondering if TGCC, the Chamber of Commerce, is sort of just, you know, more close to just Casimir stuff, or is it kind of, if it kind of includes a bunch of the others? Like, does it also include like some Victoria and stuff and whatnot? Or even like Colombia, because obviously, I mean, Colombia is obviously kind of probably important for all this shit, you know. Colombia and all that was probably quite crucial to, or was crucial to fixing the gate and stuff, so. Oh yeah, this thing. Straggler's Grove and Grove Nymphs. Straggler's Grove form a distinct ecological landscape surrounding Wuling City. Straggler's Grove appears as a monobotanical ecosystem. An unremarkable bamboo forest, this illusion initially deceived ecological specialists from the Wuling Science Station until monitoring devices placed deep within the woods repeatedly appeared outside the grove. After thorough investigation, the specialists reached a definitive conclusion. It wasn't the devices moving, but the grove itself. Specialists discovered that beneath the grove's soil, a native Talos 2 insect species had formed a it's insect-based, and formed a symbiotic relationship with the bamboo. Insects replaced the plant's tangled rhizome system, sharing water and nutrients with the bamboo growing on their backs. When stimulated by external factors, they burrow through the ground to relocate. During massive blight tide seasons, they collectively migrate to higher ground. Monash Academy of Sciences ecological specialists named this species Wuling Grove Rhizome Weaver, commonly known as grove nymphs. No, that's how it fucking works. It's bugs. Of course it's bugs. Straggler's Grove and their grove nymphs provide living specimens for Talos 2's flora and fauna research. To this day, Haas specialists maintain deep fascination with this remarkable symbiosis and its startling parallels to Terran ecosystems. Gee, I wonder why there might be some parallels. I wonder. Interesting, why would there be parallels to Terran ecosystems? Chunshi Pillars, which we actually didn't interact with that much in Wuling story this time. In Beta 1, the Chunshi Pillars was like, fixing some Chunshi Pillars was like the only story that was present in Beta 1 for Wuling. Also, Shirenite didn't fucking exist as a concept. Chunshi Pillars are columnar Shirenite devices designed to contain blight tide, representing one of the primary research achievements from Haas at the Wuling Scientific Development District. Tashi pillars emerged from Haas's comprehensive management project in the Wuling district. While Shunai's development brought renewed hope, the specialists understood this new material required an efficient delivery mechanism for the North Wuling exclusion zone disaster. Shifted from attempting to forcibly close the very large rift through I do like how, you know, they're naming stuff and whatever, and is, you know, it's so real of them that they would call the Blight Rift that's really big, they would just call it the very large rift. It's just like the very large Hadron Collider and whatnot. Very large telescope. Damn those scientists. It's not even Arknights in naming. It's just how real-ass people name them. There is actual, like, there is actual genuinely really impressive scientific things on real life Earth that are just called, like, the Very Large Hadron Collider. Because it's a really big Hadron Collider, so they named it that. It is like Kyobe naming, yeah. Anyway, they shifted from attempting to forcibly close a very large rift through sheer night concentration to targeted blight tide containment, the foundational concept behind the pillars. As a specialist successfully integrated origin technology with pheromone studies once again, deploying Wuling's first experimental candidate designated marker stone into Ocean Carrier 143. Oh, so not that long ago. Also, pheromone studies obviously mentioned, which also came up in the Wuling story itself. This makes me wonder if we will at some point actually, you know, try to then close the... Do we actually try and deal with the very large rift in story? Like, is that possibly the direction that the Wuling story could be going towards? Right? Because it's like, it's getting way worse over there. So maybe we have to try and actually solve the source of it instead of just trying to contain the blight tide. The normal operation, the Tanshi Pillar Array continuously disperses Shernite particles in the atmosphere and water systems, preventing very large rifts from transforming additional water into liquid blight. When blight tides strike, the environmental Shernite particles activate, forming a barrier that disrupts the tide's momentum and reverses the liquid blight phenomena. As a decade of expansion and upgrades, the pillar network surrounding Wuling City has successfully brought blight disasters under control. Nowadays, except during quarterly tidal surges, blight tides no longer pose significant threats to daily life and production within the city. The blight tide the tidal surges are quarterly? They're not like, oh yeah, it's you know, oh it's tide season, it's monsoon season, the blight's coming. It's like no, it's every quarter. Obviously, Wuling City. Bean. Wuling City serves as Haas's key research base within the Wuling Scientific Development District, functioning as the region's sole major settlement. So obviously, I mean, Haas has more settlements than just this. So we probably will get to see, you know, other, like, you know, China-inspired regions. I wouldn't be surprised. Because obviously that's one thing with, you know, the Sui sibling events in ARKNIGHTS is that you get to see different, like, areas and parts of China. So probably, you know, we can get a similar thing here as well. And then obviously, I mean, we're going to probably see a bunch for the other ones as well, you know. Somewhere we have, I saw somewhere, actually maybe it was on, did someone post on the Discord? Like a list of a bunch of the just cities and places that we've now heard of. And there's a bunch of interesting ones in there. Also, obviously, you know, Feng Yi's identity on Sui sibling? Or a Sui, but not one of the original siblings? Or one of the original siblings? Or what? Like... Because one thing was specifically with Feng Yi is... in the story, there's the recording and whatnot of, like, a younger Feng Yi. From, like, you know, like 10 years ago, and she sounds, like, clearly younger. Which obviously wouldn't really fit, you know, the Sui siblings as we know them. Right? Because they were, you know, just born at the age that they were, and then they were just permanently that age. So it seems to be a somewhat different situation. She seems to age. So. So I think, yeah, so because of that, mainly because of that, I think it's not gonna, like, she's related in some way for sure. I mean, look at her. And, you know, with Pheromones and stuff mentioned with her in it, it is like, okay, she's related somehow, but she's not like a direct fragment of Sui kind of situation. Yeah, like indeed, an experiment or an artificial Sui or something could very well be like the situation. Which is a funky thing to possibly explore. Because also she clearly, you know, has some certain abilities that are very not normal. I stream TGA tomorrow? Probably not. That shit is at like 2:30 a.m. my time. Even if I watch any of it, I watch it maybe at the start to hopefully maybe we'll see like an Enfield bit or something. Like early on. But otherwise, that shit is from like 2:30 a.m. to like 6 a.m. And I have like a 30-minute presentation that I have to do like Friday afternoon. Not a good combo. Not a good combo. Hoping for release date. There is a bunch of like copium or hopium that there would be a release date. The main thing, I wouldn't be surprised if we do get another trailer. But I would be a little bit more surprised if we actually get a release date on it. Rather than then really doing the release date during their like own event, like a stream or something. Because also TGA is not at like a great time for China. Like if they have the trailer and the release date announcement early in TGA, that's pretty early China time. Or it's just like an additional beta trailer or something. But then I feel like probably the actual release date would maybe not be there. And it would just, you know, it would be added later. Because, you know, the same way that, you know, we only got the true beta information in the stream eventually. And yeah, there was so it wasn't the first Enfield trailer, no, it wasn't on TGA, but the technical test had a trailer on TGA. Where were we? Did I read this whole thing? No, we were here. Or here, actually. Foremost frontier for monitoring aether activities and studying rifts and blight environments, serving both host and entire civilization. But the city's most distinctive feature is array of township pillars that we just read about. Ubiquitous hydraulic infrastructure. Its population primarily consists of host specialists, agricultural workers, industrial personnel, and their families. Wooling City originated as a science station established in Telosian calendar year 132, so not that long ago. By host to advance the comprehensive management project for the Wooling Very Large Rift. The WVLR. Initially staffed by just 113 specialists and support personnel, the settlement gradually expanded to accommodate over 1,000 residents following the development of Sure-Night technology and the initiation of comprehensive environmental surveys of the rift, alongside the construction of prototype Sure-Night forges. Telosian calendar year 142 attempts to contain the main body of the Very Large Rift ended in disaster. Massive blight disasters swallowed the entire station, resulting in significant casualties. This tragedy became the foundation upon which Wooling City would rise. A specialist agricultural technician and industrial worker refused to abandon the comprehensive management project. New Sure-Night technological breakthroughs, fresh infrastructure initiatives, advanced hydraulic control systems, and ultimately a new city emerging beside the disaster's ruins collectively formed what we now know as Wooling City. Wow, wow, wow. What if you get another Hypergriff them is not Enfield? Dude, imagine. Opacom 2. Yeah, or a day for more news stuff. Yeah. So in a way, I somewhat expect a trailer of some kind. I don't indeed necessarily expect a release date announcement on TGA. Oh, well, there's the very large rift. How far into this are we? Where are we? Where? Here. Okay. like halfway through. It does look just like an oil spill, yeah. Wuling Very Large Rift is a colossal blight fissure located beneath the Wuling region, represents the largest documented blight fracture within the known territories of the civilization band. Oh, okay, it's like actually very large rift. I see. Wuling Very Large Rift manifests geographically as a network of massive fissures comprising an extremely active central fracture with branch systems extending dozens of kilometers. Since being documented by the civilization band, the fracture's blight phenomena has penetrated and shattered the region's deep geological structures. When water transformed into liquid blight by the fracture periodically surges to the surface, creating disastrous events known as blight tides. Close encounter year 142. Specialists at Wuling Science Station attempted to sever the connection between the central rift and its branch systems using Shearnite, hoping to contain the fissure's expansion. Despite meticulous separation, the operation triggered disastrous consequences. Within 2 hours, both the science station and prototype Shearnite facilities were completely consumed by blight tides. The disaster site, now known as the North Wuling Exclusion Zone, remains a healed scar on Wuling city landscape. Oh, I wonder if we're going to get to go there. Sounds like a place we would go. Well, the Energy Pillar Array has effectively controlled liquid blight in the region. How specialists understand the ever-expanding very large rift could unleash another disastrous tide at any moment, threatening to submerge the entire territory once more. It does kind of seem like a thing we maybe would like to solve. And then it's just Wuling. Wuling region serves as the focal area for Haas's blight control initiatives, designated as the Wuling Scientific Developmental District. When the first Anglo War, the massive blight rift in the Wuling region, Wuling Very Large Rift, they love this fucking name, became one of the civilization band's most pressing challenges. This deep geological rupture spans the entire territory, representing the largest documented aether rift within known boundaries. Repetition. Blight spreading from the rift's epicenter has caused severe environmental degradation, transforming natural water systems into liquid blight. The contamination zone continues expanding outward, disrupting persistent territorial advancement over time. The 132 research delegation from Haas was stationed in the Wuling region to develop Shearnite materials for environmental restoration. The 2 decades of research and construction achieved through tremendous sacrifice, the Tanshi Pillar Array enabled dynamic containment of blight tides within limited geographical boundaries. Haas has accomplished remarkable achievement in the Wuling region from the civilization band's perspective. The complete remediation of this fractured landscape remains a distant goal. Okay, distant goal. Maybe we don't solve it right away, huh? Shearnite, made in Hongshang. It's an ad. Shearnite represents the groundbreaking material developed for blight containment, standing as one of Haas's primary research achievements within the Wuling Scientific Developmental District. Shearnite emerged from Haas's comprehensive management project in the Wuling region when the research delegation arrived. Specialists discovered the area's complex hydrogeography and widespread fracture networks primarily manifest the liquid blight, conventional large-scale risk containing methods from the civilization band. Layering original isolation barriers from periphery to epicenter proved unsuitable here. Consequently, they pioneered an alternative approach, leveraging the Academy's unique expertise in environment studies to develop entirely new solutions. In Telusan County year 140, through the collaborative efforts of multiple specialists and a Fahrenheit proxy, which historically has specifically referred to the Sui siblings. No, wait, no, Fahrenheit proxy, wait. Yeah. Proxy has been the fragments historically. In year 140, huh? A new originium-based material named Shearnite was successfully developed. Repeated independent testing confirmed that activated Shearnite could gradually neutralize liquid blight into natural water through self-sacrificial consumption. Project partners Enfield Industry participate in constructing the prototype Shearnite facilities. Today, the Tanshi Pillar Arrays and large-scale water purification project established over the Wuling Very Large Rift have created a destabilized zone, achieving dynamic containment of industrial blight. Oh, see, I mean, time-wise, this would, year 140, this would, tie in that it could indeed be fungi. Like, isn't the proxies like elves and Pramanics? No. What? No. Proxies is, I think proxies is almost always just referred to the actual, like, so far as, well, it is just Pheromone proxy, but mostly it's been referring to, you know, the more direct ones we've had, which is the Sui siblings. But obviously Kira does, well, Kira's not really a proxy, is she? Is it used for elves? I don't remember it being used on elves. Other than, yes, like elves are also somehow related to some kind of pheromone somewhere, maybe. Or Pramanics in Kira's? Is Kira's proxy? Yeah, no, I don't, that I also don't remember it being mentioned. Unless it somehow gets mentioned during the next Kirag event. Because yeah, Kera herself is just Kera Gander. Like just is more so the god. Isn't she? Isn't the proxy like the Pheromone's attendant? No. The Sui siblings are referred to as proxies. They are Pheromone proxies because they're like part of it. Is this on the ARKNIGHTS wiki? Give me a second. Proxy. Do I find proxy in the Pheromone article? No. I think proxies have logged out due to inactivity. No! I was away for like 2 minutes. I was looking at proxy with a Y. Log me back in. Take me back to proxies. There it is. 1 of 1. Pheromones are apparently biologically immortal but can be killed or shattered into multiple fragments or avatars of varying personalities acting as their own proxies. Yeah. Or executors. So yeah, Kera could be considered a proxy, sort of. If she is indeed like kind of not really the full-on god. And elves kind of are. Elves, however, feel almost less like proxies and more like weirdly like descendants is the vibe that I got off of elves. And yeah, Kera indeed, I feel, is indeed somewhat also less of a proxy in that Kera's just kind of like actual Kera Gander who took human form to just sort of hang out. You know? Like, yeah, like elves exist indeed like as a separate entity. They're not like shards of a Pheromone. They're indeed like based off of a Pheromone, but they now exist as just their own separate like thing. Where were we? Sure, I am. So a Pheromone proxy should refer to an actual shard of a Pheromone, which could obviously still be fungi. It's just fungi might be like either fungi is like a younger version or a slightly different kind of shard. Talos too? What? Natural settler of the gas giant named Talos. Frontiers, mates. Why is it just not pioneers? I guess because pioneers are also within Colombia, but... Frontiers made from Terra reopened the cosmic gate and first stepped foot upon this moon 152 years ago. Talos 2 has a nitrogen-rich atmosphere, enough oxygen for life, and sufficient greenhouse gases to keep it warm. However, the alien sun and the massive gas giant that looms in the skies are constant reminders for the pioneers and the countless light years that exist between their current location and their distant homes. I think this is mostly the same as it was. Fortunately, the great mountain ranges, crisscrossing river systems, and rich vegetation cover nurtured a rather resilient biosphere. As the cosmic gate collapsed, the Terrans survived on Talos 2 for well over a century, implying that they no longer survived. Natural resources have been essential to supporting the livelihood of local populations. For generations, the stranded Terrans and their descendants built and expanded various outposts and towns across this world and created new footholds for civilization. On the astronomical observations, there are undisclosed number of natural satellites besides Talos 2 orbiting around the gas giant, but only the latter is habitable. The unique position of Talos 2 in the star system, as the presence of the cosmic gate, we have reason to believe that this habitable environment was not a coincidental gift of the universe. Universe, for some reason, capitalized. I'm not that giant. You are now. Also, you have multiple entities surrounding you. Yeah, indeed. Talos 2 is not a coincidence. I mean, Enfield Industries is an independent company that primarily focuses on providing pioneering technologies. I think this is also old stuff. First pioneers are because now they say pioneers. When the first pioneers arrived at Talos 2, now they're saying pioneers. You think we're going to other planets? If we do, that's way down the line. We have an entire Talos 2 to explore first. And also they're like, you know, they kind of said that like, oh, the other planets, then nothing's going on them. Or the other, not even planets, moons. Rhode Island and its other partners jointly founded Enfield Industries to serve as a think tank and forward prospector. Rhode Island. Administrator led numerous Enfield geological survey teams to generate detailed maps for numerous frontier regions. As the link between Talos 2 and Terra was severed, the Frontiers Meta. Typo. Matia. Frontiers Matia. Of the New World were forced to face the threats posed by the Anglo and the Blind on their own. Enfield has stepped to the forefront and continue to do so to this very day. Enfield became an integral part of the future of Talos 2 to its novel technologies such as protocol origin and teleportation, automated industry complex, controlled origin and distribution, OMB Dijang, only orbital vehicle of Talos 2. Wow! The changes emerged to end the budding civilization of the world, and Enfield wants to continue its journey to expand the frontiers. This is old stuff. I think this is probably also old stuff. UWST is the largest union of self-governing workers syndicates of Talos 2. Please the guiding law where quantitative change will transform into qualitative change. UWST is the manufacturer of most industrial and mining machinery, facilities, and tools used in Talos 2. It's also the undisputed leader of raw materials and research production in the New World. History of UWST dates back to the age of Terra. UWST crewmates actively participated in the frontiering of Talos 2 and were the very first organization to reach the New World. UWST provide detailed and professional work planning as well as brutish yet extremely powerful fleets of machinery that were essentially instrumental in the early phase of expansion across Talos 2 and the rebuilding after the first... Rebuilding? What did I say? What the heck? After the First Anglo War. Yeah, just a union. It's just a union. Trust. UWST today seems hampered by its ever-growing yet inflexible organization, but they continue to cling to the UW spirit. And the work has symbolized humanity's construction expansion efforts with the support of positional logistics from the Talos 2 General Chamber of Commerce. And powerful new technologies provided by the Hongshan Academy of Science, the UWST continues to churn out one forward base after another from the gargantuan yards of their industrial capital, Matgorodov. After all, the UWST is the engine that drives the expansion of the human frontier. The HAS, the Hongshan Academy of Sciences, is the largest and most professional integrated R&D institution of Talos 2. While the HAS continues to feed almost entirely the civilization band and enrich the breadbasket of the planet, it also made rapid and tremendous progress in various fields of emergent sciences. They're the nerds, and also somehow the farmers at the same time. Foundation of the HAS was laid down by a surveillance team from Yun dispatched to Talos 2. In the few short hours after the First Anglo War broke out, these Chunches had the chance to return to Terra via the Cosmic Gate, but they chose to stay and join the battle. This decision resulted in them being stranded on Talos 2 with the other pioneers. Since the Chunches treated themselves as representatives of Tanshui Borough, the Hongshan crater discovered afterwards was bequeathed to these Chunches to serve as the site of their new borough. The crater was extremely habitable, large scientific complexes and hydroponic facilities were built in this area, which were formally registered as the Hongshan Academy of Sciences days before the signing of the Banter Accord. Days before, huh? To date, the HAS continues to call itself an R&D institution of Yun and govern its territories as such. It has established specialized ministries for raising livestock and crops. Occasionally, the HAS would receive criticism for extremely strict standards of admission and chronic shortage of Chunches. However, the HAS has always responded by emphasizing its compliance with the provisions of the Banter Accord. Given such commitment to the quality, professional, and skills of its graduates, the most people of Talos have great respect for HAS scientists. So they're like very not that flawed, other than like, oh, they have their standards are too high. Move back, please. Where? Here? Did you miss something? What is it, Talos? You said go back and then just said nothing. Mudgorod means mother of cities. So they have the mothership or something as well, so. Here's TGCC, the capitalism, yeah, let's go! Talos 2 General Chamber of Commerce is the most influential corporate conglomerate of Talos 2. Oh, you saw Russian? Where? Just here? Oh, yeah, Matgorodov. Yeah. They're Russian. UWST is mostly Russian-based. Or Ursus-based. Most influential corporate conglomerate of Talos 2. TGCC members cover every sector of manufacturing and services ranging from leading arms manufacturers from the Age of Terror to food catering franchises with stores along the frontier. First Anglo War, the TGCC was in charge of maintaining the Talos Terra lifeline. Now that the war has ended, truck convoys stranded in the alien world continue to roar across the roads, making commercial economies. Messenger-based courier services and modern lifestyle possible in Talos 2. With hands tightly gripped around the steering wheel, the truckers cruised across the lands with headlights blazing, carrying containers full of supplies and resources to link the growing camps, villages, and towns upon the new world. Though the industrial giants of old Terra remained a dominant force, the truckers who earned the trust and respect of the Talosians during the war became masters of their own destiny, and thus they transformed into conductors steering the great wheel of the TGCC. The leadership is made out of truckers? Huh? Crown Slayer? Trucker Crown Slayer? To date, the upper echelons of the TGCC prefer to call themselves the shadow investors and proprietors of the civilization band. They willingly call themselves the shadow investors? Sounds evil as hell. They love the quarterly financial reports and annual meetings with their shareholders, as well as the splendorous beauty of the great cosmopolis of Talos City, isn't it? TGCC leaders believe the practice of the capital they have codified is sufficient in defining the present and future of Talos 2. Such confidence was essential for helping humanity endure the darkest hour, but people often forget how addictive it could be. Capitalism! Let's go! Dijon. And the TGCC should not be like, let's say Russian-based. The TGCC seems to be a little bit more maybe multicultural. It's just capitalism, you know? It's not like a nation one. That's like just capitalism. I mean, technically UWST also isn't just Ursus, but it is clearly like mostly Ursus sourced. OMV Dijon is a spacecraft in geostationary orbit above Talos 2. It's currently the headquarters of Enfield Industries. Humanity lost their lifeline to Terra when the Cosmic Gate collapsed and the First Anglo War broke out. The moment of despair against this sudden threat, human factions that include the UWST, HUS, and TGCC jointly initiated several research projects. OMV Dijon was one of them. After a series of events, Enfield Industries became part of humanity's war effort. Many rare and non-renewable tech resources were used to construct Dijon in Talosian orbit. This is a feat of technological marvel that could never be replicated. Dijon is powered by a massive core protocol Originium. The core is responsible for keeping the master protocol system operational and supporting various subsystems that include the teleprotocol and the automated industry complex. Gee, I hope nothing happens to Dijon. I mean, something apparently did happen to Dijon, but then it was like just barely saved, so. Originium and Talos 2. In Talos 2, Originium remains the primary source of energy and a key material for industrial production in the arts. Hostile environments of Talos 2 motivate scientists to achieve numerous theoretical breakthroughs. The last 150 years witnessed the release of new power generation industrial production solutions for ever-increasing efficiency. However, Originium remains the basis for all of these advancements. These frontiers mates of the New World know very well that the most basic forms of industrial production could not be achieved without Originium boilers or Originium arts. Frontiers also chose to learn from the mistakes of the past and look for new solutions. The development of the controlled Originium distribution technology gave a degree of control over the growth of Originium clusters and made it possible to cultivate them in Oripathy-specific areas. In Oripathy-specific areas? Core greatly reduced the likelihood of catastrophes in Talos 2. Additionally, long-term Oripathy treatment was well received by the Talosians. Preventive Oripathy shots. Oh, there's preventative shots. They got cancer rock vaccines? They got vaccines for Cancer Rock now. Wow. And therapeutic suppressants were also developed. The infected were no longer stigmatized in Talosian towns and villages now that treatment became readily available. So the situation looks hopeful, Originium-related issues and challenges continue to affect the new world. They got vaccines. No way. Well, at least maybe not vaccines, but it's like I get preventative of just... If you're going somewhere where you're in, like, I guess, high, you know, Originium risk or whatever, then you just take a little shot. Do we have anti-vaxxers in this game? I'm sure we're gonna find some of them at some point, you know? Protocol Originium. It's the triangle. It's the pyramid. Proto-rig is one of the core technological marvels achieved by Enfield Industries. Network of proto-rig crystals was used to establish a teleprotocol network, transferring personnel and materials between two locations across great distances is no longer science fiction nor dependent on legacy tech such as cosmic gate. I guess I call it legacy tech. Shortly after arriving at Talos 2, many scientific research teams noticed the interaction between originium and aether energy and how the said interactions affected physical phenomena and spatial continuity. Led by the administrator, Enfield carried out extensive research on this phenomenon. The specialized protocol Originium and identified a means of utilizing multiple proto-rigs to create a teleprotocol network. You know, the Thai monks, yeah. Legacy tech. Cosmic gates. Me. However, the TP technology received little attention when first released, as its proto-rig system used extremely hazardous ether and a single trip can only move a very limited number of personnel and resources. Breaking out of the First Anglo War changed everything. The use of both the proto-rig and the TP network was validating the brutal fields of battle and security, humanity's survival. Whoa. And now they actually indeed have, well, seemingly the main thing is they have more arypathy prevention than just like be careful and like have a mask on, you know? More like a suppressant than a vaccine. Well, suppressant if you're already like infected. It's more like a protection thing. It is a preventative thing. So it's just like if you're going into a place where there's like high arypathy risk, then you take some preventative shots, which I guess, you know, just makes it harder to get infected. This is just AIC. The design principles of AIC were already proposed even before the frontiers made of Talos 2 departed from Terra. Talk about, you know, city plates and all that. Proposals were extremely suitable for the environments of Talos 2. Inflicting vast amounts of R&D resources. Hub base. Currently, AIC field deployment authority of the AIC has been granted to the administrator. Just them. Valley 4. Frontier production region chosen by the UWST. Located along the fringes of the civilization band. Oh yeah, it is indeed. Yeah, it is at the fringes. Man, it's going to be interesting once we get to go into like deeper into the band. And for example, they've teased some of those like mega cities, you know, like cyberpunk-esque mega cities. I'm so excited. It might make some phones actually explode, possibly, but like, come on, it's worth it's worth the sacrifice. When the Anglo War finally ended, humanity made plans to push the frontiers further across the world. UWST directed its focus at Valley 4 to the rich mineral wealth of the region. In support of Enfield Industries, UWST began various construction projects in Valley 4, following the completion of various quarries, mines, and production bases. Began deploying research facilities, R&D projects, applied originium technology and originium cultivation. Had high hopes and expectations of Valley 4 venture. However, a disastrous accident deprived Valley 4 of its great originium oak, and the UWST became more circumspect in its future endeavors. Fortunately, Enfield has recently expanded the hub-based site in Valley 4 for carrying out techno-protocol testing and production protocol facilities. In essence, the Enfield investment is currently keeping the Valley 4 economy afloat. Economy. Okay, here's some blight stuff. Blight is a general term for describing hazardous subterranean surface, atmospheric, and orbital phenomena of Talos 2. Such phenomena can be divided into two categories, active blight and static blight, of which static blight is often regarded as the residual remains left when an active blight episode has subsided. Classical cases of active blight, such as blight floods, commonly seen on the surface or blight tides in bodies of water, tend to exhibit optical properties unique to the blight, often seen as fluorescent displays of strange colors. Phenomenon of active blight can inflict dissociative and/or inversive destruction of variable rates. Huh? Words? Inversive destruction of variable rates to any object it contacts or swallows. I mean, okay, it's inversive destruction. It's variable rates of inversive destruction, but inversive destruction. So yeah, like inversing something in some way. Active blight can deprive matter and/or time from the physical space it manifests in. This destruction can either be rapid and absolute or slow and slight. After a period of time, the shortest duration record is 270 milliseconds, while the longest is over 149 years. Which I guess probably the 149 years is the Aurora. Active blight will slowly decay into static blight that resembles a layer of fluid asphalt covering the remains of the destruction wrought by active blight. Blight exerts unique effects on sentient life forms. Survivors of blight event often report auditory and/or visual hallucinations, sudden episodes of stress or other mental conditions, even in the complete absence of blight-induced brain injury. Bleeby. Note: almost all cases of Bleeby fail to survive. Bleeby. Having gathered more than a century's worth of samples and data, we can now confirm active blight appears in places where depth readings hit a positive number. Probably distribution of active blight is typically a well-shaped curve against an x-axis of depth readings from 0 to 1. Just explaining how the depth reading in our little map thing works. Yeah, landbreakers just be huffing blight. Like, I don't know what they're doing, but they're huffing that shit. Angelos. Angelos, plural, angeloi. Angeloi, with an N. First, any hostile and animated entity comprises of natural matter and a halo structure, and is created by an anchor via catalytic construction. Throughout the history of humanity's expansion across Talos II, the Angeloi have always been a primary threat. Angeloi war was named after the enemy fought by humanity. There are currently verified modes of Angeloi behavior: construction, deconstruction, mimicry, and attacking humans, human-built objects. They hate the objects as well. However, since the anchor-induced Angeloi formation process resembles that of industrial production, we are uncertain if the Angeloi can be classified as a living or biological life form. The construct pattern of an Angeloi entity refers to its outward appearance, mode of movement, and means of attack. A single anchor tends to create Angeloi with only a limited number of construct patterns, but they may include occasional non or alter pattern variants. Alters? What? Hence, an anchor's property is defined by the range of Angeloi construct patterns it can create. Since the first Angeloi war, humanity has encountered new construct patterns of Angeloi, giving rise to the standard Angeloi classification system. SAC is a SAC, designed to help users search and identify weaknesses and best tactics for neutralizing particular Angelos. Currently, the most Angeloi threats come in form of rapid raids stemming from an unknown source of random anchor fault. Nevertheless, humanity's history records described how the entirety of the northern frontier was destroyed within 24 hours after the first Angeloi war broke out. Because yeah, this was in Beta 1 as well, but now we actually have a bigger explanation of the first Angeloi war, so it's like a repetition in a way. There's a lot of abbreviations. They got a lot of names, man. Angelos is like to remain as the greatest challenge faced by human civilization on Talos 2. Also, that little interlude in the music is so funky. They just hit you with suddenly like a little change up in the music. And yeah, indeed, there somewhere, and I actually can't remember where exactly. There's some text somewhere where indeed the connections between the law and the Angeloid and so on is being investigated. Because, like, I mean, there's some similarities. Unbreakers usually refer to groups of armed raiders in the fringes of society. These don't seem largely unchanged. Because the Landbreak is unique to Talos 2, origins of the Landbreakers can be traced back to the 59th year after humanity arrived at Talos 2. Wildlands warlord named Jakub Mason named his massive raider army the Landbreakers. The former hero of the Angeloi War occupied a large Reginium cultivation site and found the most dangerous raider organization in the history of Talos 2. As a warlord, Jakub left a rather permanent mark upon Talosian history. Though he and his Landbreakers were completely defeated by the Civilization Band. See, now with some of the new information we have about the Civilization Band, reading between the lines a little bit, you might wonder, what's the real story? You know, it's like, oh, God bless the Civilization Band. They took care of those savages. Oh my God, thank you. Is that the real story though? Is that the full picture? People still use the term to describe organized groups of armed criminals that disregard the laws and order of civilization. When Jakub Mason's criminal organization was destroyed by the Civilization Band, his legacy was inherited by three major clans, namely the Bone Crushers, the Pack, and the Sand Reavers. Oh yeah. And now we also have some more like split-offs ones as well. These clans have different perspectives on the relation with the Civilization Band. In addition to three major clans, numerous smaller Landbreaker clans and warbands are also active throughout Talos 2. Yeah. We have like smaller sub-clans as well. The Aurora. During the very first hour after the First Anglo War broke out, Enfield Industries received numerous witness reports of strange cascading veils of light appearing in northern Talos II. Full extent of strange light was only documented after the successful launch of OMV Dijon into its artificial orbit. People would call this veil of light the aurora of Talos II for over 100 years afterwards. The circle. Yeah, is it Wolfguard that talks about more clans? According to mainstream beliefs, the Aurora of Talos II comprises two parts, first being the lower portion of the Aurora that exhibits structural and energy profiles similar to those of the Terran star pod. Oh yeah, this is a whole thing as well, wasn't it? Essentially making this lower portion of the auroral barrier, though this assumption remains controversial. Fortunately, the auroral barrier is quite a word to say. Only surrounds the North Polar regions and several isolated pockets of Talos II and does not envelop the entire world like it did on Terra. So, first of all, interesting there is indeed isolated pockets of it elsewhere, not just the North. Second part is the ether tide that stretches from the ceiling and origin of the auroral barrier to its outer envelope. This tide would appear as a static aurora visible to the unaided eye. Ether bursts and flares occur on a regular basis within the aurora as it spreads from North Pole to Talos II, leaving powerful active blight phenomena in its wake. For the last century or so, multiple attempts to approach the polar north with auto drones have failed. No orbital deployment systems have succeeded in breaching the auroral barrier, and no low-altitude area vehicles are capable of surviving the intense auroral blight. Most of Agaloy active in the auroral region are extremely protective of areas surrounded by the veils of light. It is essentially impossible to traverse these areas by land. But apparently also by fly. Terran aurora is a natural phenomenon only visible in northern Ursus and Sami. However, Talosians have realized that the aurora of Talos II is a ticking clock for humanity's existence on this moon. Oh. This file. Let's see if anything's changed in this. Because all of these later files, like the second half of these files have been mostly the old ones and unchanged. Southern Portal it is. We don't know if there is one. Realizing how much Terra stuff is gobbledygook, right? There's many years of gobbledygook to consume. Access authority level 8. Optical ID not required for authority level 8 access. Oh, bug wire scan passed. File category 302. Funny that like scanning if you have a recording device on you. Enfield HR database has a list of special operators whose profiles are managed separately and locked behind an incredibly high authority level. These special operators have the right to directly communicate with senior corporate officers of Enfield Industries, and all of them are special Rhode Island liaison working at Enfield pursuant to the Framework Agreement on Special Technical Roles and Cooperation between Enfield Industries and Rhode Island Pharmaceuticals. What a fucking name. What a long-ass name. Most of these operators usually do not work at Enfield facilities and do not carry out Enfield assignments on a regular basis. Instead, they are often involved in various roles throughout Talos II. Back with Shepherd's Pie. Not lamb, because I don't have lamb, but beef are good enough. Dude, that sounds so good. Oh man, I'm getting a little hungry. These special operators are also known by an esoteric title, Reconveners. The first Originium crystal that traversed the Cosmic Gate to arrive at Talos II was contaminated in the final battle of the First Anglo War. The very fundamental nature of the info crystal was damaged, causing degradation in its properties. Despite the contamination, several intact data shards remained within the chaos of its assimilated universe. Should anyone wish to navigate the corrupted data streams within, these shards can be perceived as a never-extinguishing beacon of blinding light. Oh yeah, these shards, yeah. I almost read it wrong. To achieve various objectives, both the Administrator and M3 tacitly allowed Warfarin, the leader of Rhode Island at that time, to conduct emergency repairs and decontamination of the first Originium. For reasons unknown, the reversing nature of ether was greatly slowed near the data vein. When Warfarin... Oh yeah, here also they mentioned the reversing nature of ether. Slowed near the data vein. When Warfarin deciphered this data vein, depth readings of a data shard underwent a spontaneous spike as it decrypted from the similar universe into real space. The first reconvener also arrived at Talos II by accident, and without the Administrator's knowledge. Warfarin was also unprepared for the arrival. Every reconvener who left the Originium Woods has been friendly and willing to work with Rhode Island and the Administrator. All of them also seem capable of realizing that they are a unique individual, despite sharing partial knowledge of the life experience and interpersonal relationships stemming with distant memories of Terra. Such knowledge also allows reconveners to use skills and abilities wielded by their original counterparts. Warfaren later found a way to commune with the data shards. Despite the concerns of others aware of their existence, she began to actively explore the Reginian woods. Warfaren encountered data shards willing to set foot on Talos II, and thus she designed a process to better lead them out of the woods and into the new world. Many reconveners arrived at Talos II while the Administrator hibernated. The reconveners began exploring the world and seeking their own destinies, and they did so with the goal of assisting the Administrator in mind. Bringing reconveners out of the woods is essentially an act of creation. Warfaren bore the responsibilities for her actions, though she would occasionally vent out her frustrations to Enfielders who knew of this project. After every stress-fueled episode, she would remind everyone how years of extensive experience taught her that everything was worth its while. Note, the years of extensive experience Warfaren claims are subject to change, with the figure being 500 years a century ago, 300 years half a century ago, and dropping to 20 years in her most recent claims. Any Rhodes Islander and Enfielder is willing to trust in the beacon of the woods as well as the wills that followed the light and emerged from the roiling chaos. I believe so too. First person? Who's saying that? Who's saying that? Yeah. So mostly I was wondering. First of all, this doesn't actually give us a time frame of when did the first reconvener pop up. We just know that like the reason that it's implied that the reason it's possible is because the little Originium fragment got like damaged and whatnot, seemingly, or it might not be that specifically. It might just be it's the interaction with Originium stuff and the ether makes it possible, but then there's also probably implication is that because it got like damaged and whatnot, that's why the reconveners are like different from the originals. Where else was it? Yeah, indeed, the first reconvener was just an accident. I'm just wondering, indeed, I feel like at some point it was implied, and maybe it still is, that the first one would have been Gilberta Angelina. Which obviously, I mean, we can possibly go to look at some of the operator files at this point. What's the time? Okay, yeah. So we could go for operator files next. So this is the last one in here. These are, you know, the most important ones. These are the most interesting ones to go through like now. Most of this was very much the same. Yeah, I think all the new stuff here. I think there's a couple older bits here as well. But like after Talos 2, so like this half from Talos 2 to Reconveners, it's pretty much unchanged. I think United Workers and Hongshan had slightly more information on them. Everything else was like the same as it was. But then obviously Share Night Wooling and all this stuff is new because that's new added to the beta. Somebody was implied that Gilbert wasn't the first. Yeah, because I can't remember. Because at some point I had a vibe of like, was it Gilberta or was it not? It's completely impossible that we don't even know who the first one is. But one specific, we'll see if it's a thing still. But for example, just go like here instantly. Where is it in here? In date of birth, same as the Endermans. Is it not in here anymore? Oh yeah, because I have a bunch of these are fucking locked because I need trust, man. I can't be reading most of these, man. We'll see how similar these first of all as well. But okay, wait, let me bring it up on the. Actually, well, let me check Snowshine as well then.
Wanna come snowboard?
I think it might be a thing that they removed now. It doesn't seem to be in the files anymore. Let's see where it was in the files originally. If I can bring up the old ones from beta 1. If I bring up Levitain file, is it still the old one or have you updated it? Have you people updated it? I think you've updated, haven't you? Do I have to pull up the old one? I have to pull up the old one. View history. At beta test before the page name, we got the archive. Okay, nice. Wait. Can you give me an example, Cubic? If you just give me an example link. If you pull up like Levitane's previous archived one. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get fucking kicked as well, aren't I? We should also, I guess I should go to Dijon and give them some trust. Okay, yeah, like that. Okay, yeah. Or Snowshine, yeah, that works as well. Here. Okay, yeah, indeed. This is no longer part. This part here is no longer here in the files, the recommender. Yeah, it's no longer in here. Because for all of the previous ones, for every reconvener in Beta 1, they had Recommender, Warfarin, Gilberta, except Gilberta, who obviously only had Warfarin, but every other reconvener had Warfarin and Gilberta, which I might have taken as like a somewhat implication that Gibby was like the first reconvener or very early. Okay, links will always bring you back to the new page. Okay, but it's a good thing I know how to access the archived ones in case I want to compare something. Okay, so they have been changed. So maybe there may be less implications in some places. Also, yeah, indeed. I think you have to get to max trust, which is still is 200, I believe. I won't be able to read through all of them because I don't have like anyone at
Looking for me?
0 trust, 20, 33, 37, 108, 0, 28,
Where are we?
40, 40, 49, 109, 26. How is he at 100? Oh, I think he's because he's been working in... He's working in...
Story of my life.
The what's it now? He's working in Dijon. 26, 113, 20, 40, 20.
Need defensive cover?
You don't get nearly as much trust if you don't put them like working into here. Like you don't get passive trust much at all unless you put them working in like the main. And not even indeed working in like, I don't think they even get it really from working in the production facilities. It's really only working on the bridge that gives them like trust properly. There's only Nexus that gives like, yeah, passive trust. Obviously the gifts give you a lot. So like you should be kind of just going like giving gifts every day. I didn't claim these. I didn't claim these. Oh, I still had one more. I forgot to do this. Whoa, so much harvestable. Wow, wow, wee, wow. I'll just spam some of the ones that I like happen to have. And randomly click on shit. Yeah, gifts are pretty cheap and so on, so you do get a lot from those. Well, gifts are not necessarily cheap, but it's like at some point you don't have much else to use your money on other than just getting gifts. Well, there she is.
Why are you idling here? Come on, let's go to the bridge. Then you can tell me all about the places you went in the past and the destinations you have in store for the future.
I'm sorry to tell you, he got amnesia. He don't remember shit. Yeah, because yeah, that's the thing. You can get 20 each day if you just give them the like number 1 that they want. How much can I spam if I just give you everything? If I give you 9, you get an extra 15. But obviously it's like not as efficient. Or whatever.
I don't...
Who else is there? Let's be real, we mainly care about the reconveners. For lore reasons. Snowshine. Hello, Snowshine. Hello, Ardelia as well, I saw you.
Every time.
Is this for me?
Was Nephris race revealed? Ardelia. Oh, I was like, where'd you go? Don't sit. Oh, she sat. Okay, does Ji Young have a call for up? I forgot. Yes, I will take your gift. Well, yeah, they assume she's a croc, yeah, but like wasn't that same NPC the one that got a bunch of other races wrong, or was that a different guy?
A gift?
But I mean, yeah, she could indeed just be a croc. Except she has horns. On the map at the top left. Top left. Oh, in the main. Oh, here. Operator contact panel. There is indeed. Oh, yeah. Yeah, meeting point. Oh, wrong button. Oh, interesting. Funky. Who do we have to call over? You. Okay, good. He's still working. He's still working. Don't think he can get out of working.
Thank you for your gift. And
Estelle have horns? Yeah, and it's specifically stated that it's extremely rare for crocs to have horns.
Enemy, I got you a little something.
So Estelle is indeed like an exceptional case. Wait, does it also show indeed who has gifts? Well, and I think now no one has a gift, so never mind. He has a gift. The gifts they give you are not very significant, but you can multiple people at once. You could just call everyone over, like, all right. It's the daily fucking bribing session. Get over here.
Well,
that's funny. No, okay, he hates them. Never mind, he hates them. How do you hate? Surely you should love fucking weights. Can I actually just... Okay, you can call 3 at a time. You can call 3 at a time, and then they just have to... Then they just sit there waiting for you to... like, we're waiting for you to... Whatever. I guess we should also focus the people who have, like, new... Except, if some of these are already updated onto the wiki, then. Let's bring him over. Who else is new? Last ride, technically, I guess. And I mean, all of the 4 stars are new, so... I'm calling Catcher over again. Are you just standing here in a line? Yep.
nothing's left on the schedule.
Sorry, you'll have to... You guys have to wait as I... bribe people. Don't walk away! Hey!
You're looking for me,
I guess he was working. Never mind, he's not even working right now. I'm kind of wasting gifts because I'm not like...
For me?
Don't go anywhere. Stop talking. I don't like how you talk. Not gonna lie. Okay, I should have saved some. I should probably buy more gifts, actually, I just realized. If I just do some stuff... Oh. By the way, you can do that pretty consistently. You can pretty consistently make Enderman do a little slide if you try to move right away after finishing gift giving. How do we fire her? Right? At least at the very least, I think some of the files seem to be updated, so we might also be able to grab them from the wiki. Not that I think I have actually time to read all of them at this exact moment.
Originium will carve a path.
Let's see, how much have I unlocked here though? Also, audio logs as well are gonna have like, yeah, so promote to E3, promote to E4, trust. There's some trust dialogue, some chat, topic. Oh my god, there really is a lot of fucking voice lines. Holy moly. Donked in getting gifts. Sorry, he'll have to wait for a little bit. I have not been staying up on my gifting. And he also had these. You know, but Expertise 1. Originium Arts. Burn the Nemesis, light the bonfire, and purge the darkness to destroy the annihilated defender. I don't think that's what her I mean, that's a weird way to describe Originium Arts. In the Woods of Memories, where she touched the most realistic of Woods of Memories. That should be the... Well, I guess it might also be called the Woods of Memories, but obviously that should just be the Originium Forest. Thus the most realistic of illusions and the most unlikely of truth, and that was how she acquired her skills of observation. Hobbies. Only the most unique and interesting things deserve to be memorialized. Desserts are good. Soft beds are great. Traveling is also pretty nice. Far better to commit one's life to the future instead of obsessing about the past. Oh yeah, I forgot you can... Oh yeah, have an operator guide for it. Levitating female, Rhodes Island, same as the end... fucking date of birth, same as the endman. Race, Sarkas. Oropathy, negative. Strength, excellent. Combat skill, standard. Tactical acumen, standard. Arts assimilation, excellent. Arsenal engineers must regularly inspect and repair the ring-like structure that she brought along. CRAD, Enfield Security. Okay, CRAD, Enfield Security Professional. It's just not the name of the ring, it's the name of the guy. And is 100 close, and then like 200 or 150 or whatever is trusting. Reconvener and Operator Levitain joined Enfield with the Administrator's direct recommendation after acquiring her personal agreement as well as the approval from the HR Division and authentication from Rhodes Island. Levitain joined Enfield as an operator under the direct command of the Administrator. Levitain arrived at the reception area full 45 minutes ahead of the agreed upon schedule. She simply placed the employment notification on the table and said little else except, "I'm here, we can begin." Quite cooperated during the initial phase of the interview, giving her signature, submitting a retinal scan and linking her protocol authority level without a single fuss or comment. Tried to liven up the atmosphere by saying welcome to Enfield. She nodded and replied, "I'm already here." Look, she just wants to get to business. She's efficient. During job inclination testing, I followed the prescribed list of questions and asked if she considered utilizing her skill set in other non-combat roles such as combat planner, coach, or instructor. She did not say anything but appeared obviously annoyed. In the end, Operator Levitain left with this final line. "Just let me go to as many places as you can. Please let me build as much memories as I can." She's still no memories, woman. The weapon texts, we might just... I mean, maybe we read them later at some point. But yeah, the weapon texts also do have, like, loads in them. I wonder how much they've been changed, obviously. Obviously, we have new weapons as well, which will have different text. But I read all the originals at some point, like Beta 1 ones. I'm assuming this unlocks at close, which... Is it 100 or is it 50? I wish it kind of actually showed me, like, you know, the... what actually the cutoff points are. But obviously there's 4. So... yeah, you do have to have the weapon. I think you have to have... yeah, you do, because the way that you access the particular weapon file does mean that you have to have it. Administrator and Supervisor Perlka of Enfield Industries. Extremely pleased to learn that Levitain has returned with the Administrator's help. Though her journey is far from complete, her return proves that she has found a new objective and people whom she is willing to travel with. Oh, with the Administrator's help, okay. Yeah, it's invaluable since of database. So in database, I mean, obviously, if you don't have the weapon, then it's like grayed over or whatever. Extremely powerful desire and hope drove Levitain to step onto the lands of Talos 2. When we first sensed her existence, the light she gave off was bedazzling. Later realized that this light was emitted by her obsession, her innermost ego demanding the answer, "Who am I?" She truly is. Nothing's changed. Except she's more agreeable somehow. She's better in a team. How does the memory system work if your previous life had amnesia? It's even more messy, I guess. Because, yeah, it's like... She has memories of memories that already weren't hers. There's like 2 or 3 levels of like, these ain't my memories. Led on by said obsession, the fragments awakened and created a complete persona. She walked out of the Virginian woods, new and intact, and arrived at Rhodes Island bearing the name Levitain. Thought she would immediately become one of our strongest assets and supporters, but she turned us down. Just like Surtur, who had always walked alone, no one can command Levitain or force her to stay in one place. First, I don't think this... I think this file has been changed, because I don't remember Surtur actually being mentioned directly. Originally. She'll answer no faction until she finds the answer to dispel her own miasma of amnesia. Hence, we decided to open the door and give her our best farewells. We left. Once, I was worried that Levitain's choice would affect other reconveners. Then I realized that they became reconveners because every one of them did not forget the old dream and vision. That is why they reconvened with you on this very same path. Now, this thought alone has lifted a stone off my chest. I wanted this Warfarin talking. As Levitain is currently an official Enfielder fighting along your side, then allow me to share a few words of advice, based on my knowledge of her, for getting along with her. Firstly, accommodate and accept Levitain's straightforward nature. She often says whatever that comes to her mind. It does not act out hostility, malice, or rudeness. In fact, shots were a symbol of her sincere and undisguised attitude. I prefer to simply tell you what I'm thinking right now. Secondly, should Levitain exhibit obvious signs of fury or impatience, do not attempt to persuade her to calm down. Never tell an angry person to calm down, yeah. Believe me, there are more effective means, such as the provision of ice cream or other things that can rapidly cool the situation. Everything is someone you can communicate with, but she dislikes being told what to do. Just as a side note, before she left Rhodes Island, she took all the crimson berry ice cream from my lab freezer and ate them all, right before my eyes, as though it was the right thing to do. Thought you told me memories can lie, she said as she licked the spoon, so I better have more of this to make it as memorable as possible. Everything marked her farewell with this action to ensure the veracity of the moment. She actually cares very deeply about her friends, far more deeply than most would like to think. Thirdly, Leviathan is extremely similar to Surtur, but according to her temperament, do not tell her that she resembles Surtur. Also, do not tell her that she does not resemble Surtur. In fact, do not ever compare her to Surtur unless she brings the topic up herself. Always remember this. Best wishes on your collective journey across Talos 2. Rhodes Island. It just signed Rhodes Island? I mean, it has to be fucking Warfarin then. Okay, and later her topic audio logs. There's also trust
Levitate?
dialogue.
Yeah, picked it myself. Got the idea from the sword. Some don't take it as
Its
my
name is
real
mine, just
name.
like those memories, and intend to rule over them, not to be ruled by them.
I tamed the thing, so its name is mine. Just like those memories. I intend to rule over them, not be ruled by
This is part
them.
of the previous character development.
My mind is still filled with all sorts of
Then just
fragments
finish
and
simply choose not to
memories.
study them. Perhaps when I'm done taking
They
care of
didn't
these
just
mundane
vanish.
chores, I'll follow these memories and
I
start a new
simply
journey.
desert her.
I'm going to
All
all
her
those.
rage, her sense
Also,
of
oh,
loss,
Surtur
and
also
her
just mentioned in
confusion
voice lines now.
remain in my memories. They feel so real and permanent. Yet when I
No.
recall the decision she made for herself in the end,
Oh.
I find some measure of solace.
Yeah, I know how Surtur functioned, yes. Who do you think I am? I know every ounce of Surtur lore. There's not a lot of it, but I know it.
There's a time when I couldn't
Oh,
understand
long
why
line.
you wouldn't just let go of the past. I only figured
Also,
things
yeah,
out
in
when
the
I
end.
arrived at Enfield. You're the administrator, a vessel of everyone's expectations, and a projection of everyone's ideal of the world's savior. But nobody should allow their image to be molded by the wishful thinking of others. And that is why you must use
Stop
your
it,
memories
Yvonne.
to rediscover your true self. If you need a companion for this journey, just give me a call. I won't care where you're headed.
And you just have like some
My
chats.
shattered ring?
Yeah.
Treat it as my
I
pet
treat it
and
as my
honor.
pet. Yeah, okay.
The arsenal engineers of Enfield tried to figure out how my home. I've been to a place called Seshka.
Well, yeah, okay, that's
They have
also that's how you
buildings,
pronounce it.
language,
Sheshka.
festivals, and witchcraft that
Which apparently is like the
felt
Sarka's
familiar enough to be
faction,
a
essentially.
home. But I won't visit that place again unless there's a very good reason to. Their people were too warm and
Called me a
passionate.
Diablo.
Some even called me a Diablo. Ugh. Let's just say it got on my nerves and I messed up the place. Just a little bit.
What do you do?
That pink-haired Vuivra often asks me to test her frosty bitey. It never managed to put out my flames. But she does
Okay,
make
they're
very
bribed with
cheap
ice
looking
cream. It's that easy.
And the taste is not half bad. A song seeker of the Hanabit circuit once told me this. Fire is a fiend in the hands of the wind, but a friend.
It's
in
nice
the
that it's
hands
all
of
voiced,
humankind.
but then also like, you know, I
The song
kind
seeker
of want to
showed
just like
no
quickly
fear of
read it
fire.
as just like a
She
profile
even
file,
taught
but
me how to create
it feels
fireflies
rude
on
to
the other
interrupt
side
the
of
speaking.
Wildlands. I managed to contain a spreading forest fire. The villagers who survived the disaster called us heroes. But my mind stayed fixed on the cloud beast.
Cloud
we
beast.
saved. I let her keep the little one. What a shame.
She was like, damn, she took my cat.
I need something taken care of. HR division.
These
told
you
me to
don't trigger in
escalate
world.
this
Some of them
matter
you
to
do.
personally.
Resource, like, some of them are, you know,
A wanted poster.
out in the world lines
No
that you
big
can trigger,
deal.
but most of these not.
Happened back when I just left Rhodes Island.
I think
place
chats,
called
I think
the
these
Asphalt
are
Roundabout
triggered
tagged
in,
me
like,
for
if you
a
just
few counts of
idle.
arson.
These are like idle lines, I think.
They should really blame themselves. A dirty business with plenty of flammable trash should at least expect some fires.
Yeah, I think these are the ones that trigger just out in the world as well, are the chat ones. Maybe, unless this is a separate one, actually.
I hate fools who like to micromanage.
I think
Thank
this is
goodness
the
you're not one
operator
of them.
selection and stuff. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Chats, I think, are the one that like are random lines that they said, just if you're just idling or running around. And then obviously, you know, all the combat ones. 1 billion combat lines. Sami.
I'll say this again. I've never been to Terra in person. So don't talk to me about the sights, the people, or the culture of that place.
Okay, also here, yeah.
Unless, of course,
Home
you're talking
carried
about
them to
Sami.
Talos too.
I heard their home carried them to Talos too. If we have a mission at that place, give me a call.
She would obviously be interested in Sami. That's where she, like, met the... Actually, like, the source of Surtur at some point. And then was like... Nah, fuck you! I'm leaving! She found the source of the thing that she was looking for all this time. And I was like... Wait a minute. You're trying to bamboozle me into, like, getting closer. Nah, fuck you. I'm leaving.
There's a time when I couldn't understand
Oh,
why
I
you were
went
the
through this,
duty
didn't
of the reconveners.
Oh, never mind. This one I
I
didn't.
don't care about that. It's probably something
Don't
stuffed
care.
into my memories.
Duty, first of all.
I only agreed to fight by your side because of the people I met, the paths I walked, the decks I napped on,
Actual
and
cat.
the breakers I crushed. It's because of the memories that are truly mine, made here in this place.
But, okay, here's some of the dialogue, like trust lines that I need. Are not all here. I guess you have like an additional... You have additional, I guess, idle maybe chatter in Dijon or something? Or these somehow move down to trust dialogue here once they unlock. But I think you might also have like a secondary greeting with higher trust. And I did jump down to the
Surtur.
topics.
All her ring.
This
My
one we
mind
did
is
do.
still filled with all
This one we did do.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the only one I
duty of
didn't
the
do.
The duty of the
Okay,
reconveners.
once she starts
The duty
yapping, you
of the
can't pause
The
him.
duty of the reconveners.
Once she starts
I don't care
yapping.
about that. It's probably something stuffed into my memories.
Unless you know, go backwards. Bap, 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 bap. Plum Bob. So, some of these expertise, maybe this is just for the reconveners, but they're like expertise lines are like, what the fuck are you talking about? Drop a plum bob that points straight to the heart of this land. Expertise 1. I guess expertise 1 natural science is okay, but then like the text here is like, oh. Expertise 2 adventurous. That's a descriptor, that's an adjective, not an expertise. Though aching and dazed, she labors hard to register the summit of the rocky outcrop. Hobbies 1, lifestyle. Lifestyle isn't a hobby. And yes, she has sent me rocks. She just sent me a lot of pictures of rocks. Rock lover. She's mixing some butter and chocolate to make an extra large lava cake. Spawning of rain upon the land is the language by which the world renews itself. Everything gets a new look when tomorrow dawns. Great hobby. October 18. Cabernet. Negative. Normal, standard, normal, outstanding. Ardelia is an expert geologist from Rhodes Island. She specializes in volcanic hazards and has made significant contributions to Talos 2 geological research. Now employed by Enfield, she spends much of her time conducting site investigation. She's one of the rare minds at the forefront of scientific discovery. What sets her apart isn't just her expertise, but her perseverance, fearless spirit, and above all, her genuine love for science and unquenchable curiosity. Without dedicated researchers like her, we might never truly understand the world we live in. Also, she has fucking, you know, sheep. Have you noticed? That also sets her apart. You often find her venturing out alone, collecting samples, studying geological structures, and transforming observation into theories. Thanks to her efforts, Enfield has gained much deeper understanding of Talos geology and the threats posed by the Blight. Which has laid the groundwork for emergency plans in case of Blight outbreaks. I have great respect for Ardelia. For her humility, grace, and unwavering sense of purpose, it is as if she carries an endless well of strength, always certain of the path she must follow. Marvin Malin, it's MMM. MMM. Also, what rock from Siesta? Does she have a specific rock from Siesta mentioned somewhere? Mr. Dolly's game 1. What are you doing, Dolly? Pet a rock. Or when she sends rock pics. Oh wait, let me. Rock pics? Was there a siesta? Oh yeah, there was a siesta rock, isn't there? Where is she? Where are you? Show me your rock picks. Oh yeah, obsidian. Actually, it doesn't come from Talos. Not from Talos. So what is it? It's a piece of obsidian. Yeah, okay, yeah. Do you not to see something like this on Talos? Oh yeah, I found it near a volcano in Siesta. Is this just your memory, or? Because obviously you couldn't have actually found it unless Siesta is now suddenly... Well, Siesta is still not a place on Talos because she specifically says it doesn't come from Talos too. So either this rock came along with her when she spawned, or she like found it from somewhere else but then also remembers finding it in Siesta somehow. It does just feel like it could be indeed the memories messing with her. Pompey's heart. But no, but Purple. She also specifically says, well, actually doesn't come from Talos too. So it's not like Siesta moved to Talos too, because it also specifically didn't come from Talos too. And I know, okay, that Dolly is just Dolly. It is just Dolly, yes. Dolly. It is the Dolly. It's him. Important rock. Confusing rock. Where did you get this rock, sheep woman? Where did you get this rock, sheep woman? Where were we? File 1. Enfield is Mass Effect. Shortly after joining Enfield, Ardelia visited a blight-ravaged sector of Talos 2. Geological disaster shredded a once beautiful sediment, leaving fissures that pulse with residual energy. Sarais bore wounds beyond the physical, their eyes hollow with the kind of trauma only disaster refugees know. Ardelia stayed at the shelter for a while, the wooden crowded steel cots, limbs lost, eyes vacant. Limbs lost, eyes vacant, nice. Voices severed by trauma. Fun! Wycern divided their suffering as medical monitors pulsed like weary hearts. He'll work tirelessly, organized supplies, changing bandages, murmuring, I understand your sorrow to the wounded, until a voice serrated with grief cut through, you don't understand. There was a young girl, small but fierce, she forced the words through gritted teeth. You stand straight, your steps don't falter, no disaster have carved its mark into you. But her memories, though. The girl turned away, her voice fraying at the edges. Stop pretending. Maybe you've been sick, but you healed. That's luck we'll never taste. Our stories end in the same sentence, lifelong pain. So when you say you understand, is that pity's cheap coin? Spare us. She doesn't know. She doesn't know. Aurelia stood there in her research group, ponytail precise, step steady, and eyes bright. Virginium had scoured the reconvener's illness away. Okay, so first of all, I guess just confirmation that indeed reconvening kind of just clears you, huh? Attuning her to wind whispers and microscopic fractures in stone. Yet here, before those still drowning in pain, her engineered perfection rendered her mute. Engineered perfection. When darkness fell upon the land, Mr. Dolly appeared. Trotted between beds and corridors, leaving chaos in its wake, toppling medicine cabinets, upending tea trays, kicking a freshly filled hot water bottle beneath pillows. Nurses cursed the sudden swelter. Her children shrieked about something furry burrowing under their blankets. Ardelia chased Mr. Dolly into an old break room where she tugged at a can of a sheet to reveal a dust-choked piano. Stumped the keys, a discordant chime that jolted Ardelia into clarity. Is that lobby music? No way. It's canon. Ardelia approached, brushing away the dust. The yellowed keys stared back, a few bass notes, dissonant but functional. She sat, fingertips tracing a tentative sequence of Lathanian arpeggios into the stale air. Never mind, it's just Lathanian arpeggios. First piece second, and as the third began, soft footsteps whispered from the hallway's depths. Mr. Dolly lay curled nearby, a silent cushion of warmth. Children nestled against its fur, their breath sinking with Ardelia's piano as the notes wove through the stale air. Uncle came in as well, perching quietly in the farthest corner. It still hurts, she murmured. When you play, the world becomes something worth enduring. This child speaks very eloquently. What an eloquently speaking child. I guess yeah, it could be that yes, that it's not originally from Talos, as in yes, it was brought over to Talos way back in the day. Like yeah, they just brought shit. I mean yeah, I guess that would make sense. They just brought stuff from Siesta to Talos. I don't know if they brought the whole ass Siesta, because they could have, you know, just brought the rock. But then obviously the thing is that she says where she found it near a volcano, which is the weird part. Which is like, is it a coincidence? Is there an actual volcano in Talos? Did they bring a volcano from Siesta? Or like... Because Siesta specifically was not a nomadic city, by the way. So like, so who knows? Siesta City has a volcano, yeah, but it was also not a nomadic city. That was like a kind of a big issue and so on. It was, you know, made next to a volcano and it couldn't just fucking move out of the way when it started fucking exploding. It was like, oh, it was like safe. Somehow the volcano kept it safe from catastrophes and stuff, but then, you know, the volcano itself fucking exploded. And the old Siesta was removed and it had to, you know, they had to like move it in a different way. In a normal way instead of actually moving it. So yeah, like Siesta was not originally even a nomadic city that they could have just moved along with a volcano. Also, crazy idea to put a volcano on the nomadic city. So yeah, it is interesting on what exactly did they mean. Is it, this could, who knows? It could even be like some kind of weird fucking translation issue or something. It's just like not clear of what the hell she means by not from Talos 2, but I also found it near a volcano. And it's like, is it just the memories messing with her or? Also, yeah, like indeed, how do you even put a volcano on a nomadic city? Like a volcano does have to kind of be connected to, you know, the crust and the mantle of the planet that it's on for it to function as a volcano. It needs to be connected to like the core of the planet to work. It can't really actually be on a nomadic plate. You'd have to bring like an actual dead-ass chunk of the Terra's mantle. Or it's just a really large baking soda volcano, yes. So yeah, like you can't actually put a volcano on, you can't move a volcano unless it's not a true volcano. So that is a bit of a weird line with the I found it near a volcano, where I feel like the safest assumption right now is, you know, some kind of like little, ooh, the memory shenanigans, you know? I feel like that's, you know, the safest assumption for now. But listen to these. What's the time? Okay, we'll listen to these topics. I want to get off a bit earlier today because I have stuff to do tomorrow, indeed. So I want to be off a bit earlier. We'll listen to these topics, and then we'll see if we'll probably just continue these at some point. We go through the main, like, we can continue through operator files and stuff. Also, because some of them we might have to go to the wiki anyway, since I don't have them all unlocked. And if they're updated on the wiki, then it's all good. But
Either side is something entirely new we have to face in Talos 2. There are theories describing it as a unique
spatial and
physical
temporal dimension,
phenomenon, while others regard it as a strange spatial and temporal dimension. But I have this feeling that it's a forgotten and
what you theorizing here, Ardelia, huh?
filled with old things that nobody cared about anymore. Professor,
A forgotten and dusty
maybe the
room
Ether side
filled with
has
old things that
something
nobody
to do
cared
with
about
our
anymore.
origins.
Implications of it possibly being indeed manufactured.
I came from Rhodes Island, where I received all kinds of training and lessons that helped me build my own identity. I had no blood relations, childhood.
Rhodes Island is my home, and they all told me that it was yours as well.
Rhodes Island taught us how to live and understand ourselves. Professor.
Next summer, when BC has to put a volcano on Magnetic City. Okay.
And they all told me that it was yours as well.
No, I meant more so these files, Cubic, the full files. And I mean, okay, I mean having the text for these as well is useful because I don't have all of them unlocked, but. Where the heck? Or topic.
Mr. Dolly is actually quite lively. I just can't figure out why
I can see it.
show itself to other people. It's invisible.
No,
to me.
actually, I can see it. It's right there.
Loves playing with you. What's Mr. Dolly doing now? Well, it's trying to sit on your. Oh dear, Mr. Dolly, stop it!
What do you mean? I see it.
Messing around with the professor.
Dolly Jr. Is that Dolly's shadow?
That's Mr. Dolly.
Because yeah, it's
for
indeed
you.
Dolly, and then there's
A
Dolly's shadows.
Quite ordinary day, and then it decided to stick around and never left me ever since.
Temporally and spatially connected Dolly and Ardelia. Dolly was like, oh, wait, my girl, she's back in a different form on a different planet. Let me go there real quick.
Miss Yvonne is an incredible scientist. When I first arrived in
Oh,
Enfield,
my dishwasher's
she
ready.
shared tons of important info to get me up to speed about the ether side. She even shared her research findings with me, hoping they could
Not for
help
music.
other researchers in our field. And to top it off,
Waffen
we
Toma
both
Pop.
share a love for music. Though I'm into lighter melodies, and she's into faster, heavier
His sister
beats.
did move. No, I think
She
Dolly's
still gave me
tied
several
more to
albums
just
of La Fantoma
Aya
pop.
than Siesta.
She's amazing.
Dolly isn't like specifically tied to Siesta or whatever. Was every reconvener dabbling with Yvonne? Thought she had no friends but us. Right? Well, I mean, Surtur wasn't exactly befriending her. Levitain was just like, she wants me to like test shit, and then she gives me ice cream, so I say okay.
I've once witnessed a giant originium cluster swallowed up and broken down by the blight that rose like an ocean tide. Nothing was left but a
Also,
barren
however,
valley.
Obsidian Festival does also
It
exist
survived the
on Talos
disaster and
2.
returned to its home,
So,
alone
like,
and confused.
At least some form of translation of
Either
Siesta
side
does
and
seem
the
to
blight are
exist.
like anathemas of each other, while we teeter precariously along the edge for survival.
Anathemas.
From Originium I was born,
Woo!
and thus I felt compelled to learn about the ether. My only wish is to make this world a safer home for everyone.
She talks about multiple thingies of just like direct, like, oh, yep, I'm born from Originium, that's me. Unless Beast Lords can just teleport between planets. When it comes to that sort of stuff, Dolly seems to be even slightly special. Dolly is like immaterial most of the time. The other Beast Lords seem to at least like, you know, like, I mean, Emperor is just hanging around in the physical, you know, world all the time. Mr. Dolly was nice enough to zip himself with A. I mean, that's the other thing, indeed, right? It might just be that, you know, since Dolly was so tied to Aya, then, you know, he got zipped along with Aya and, you know, sort of came out. It just took him a bit to, like, decide to pop out once Aya, you know, Ardelia had been born. Yeah, Zaro also, like, the wolves also somewhat seem to be exist, a little bit less material. They're like floating heads. Yeah, some Beast Lords just indeed don't exist quite in the material world in the same way. And then some do. Like Emperor and High Priestess. Or High Priest, rather, not Priestess, just High Priest. Also, I mean, surely, unless it's just a mascot, surely the goose we see for Metal Scar Radio, is that also a Beast Lord, or is that just a mascot, huh? We see the goose in the little video for Metal Scar Radio. High Priestess in Suzerain's that? No. The parrot. The blue parrot. With the mecha. That one. You necked this bird. That's High Priest. Have we forgotten? How to participate in beta? That time is over. I don't think they're sending out invites anymore. The bird is actually Suzerain's dad. Deep lore? Oh, if you don't know Arknight lore. Okay, yeah, no, yeah. There's a blue parrot, and they're also a Beast Lord. The PlayStation 5 one, maybe, but I think the surveys and like invite time for PlayStation 5 is also like over already, even if it only goes live this Friday. Oh yeah, Dear Beast Lord and Sami as well, yeah. Though that one also seems a little bit less fully material. You know, it seems quite ethereal. Yeah, because I think the PlayStation 5 survey actually probably ended like the same time that the this one, the PC one as well did. It's just it took way longer for them to actually start the test. So, anyway, yeah, I wanted to end a bit earlier today since I do have stuff tomorrow. Tomorrow there won't be any stream. Friday I will try to probably stream unless I'm like super fucking tired. Or, I mean, in any case, Friday stream, if I do stream, it will be slightly later in the day. I'm simply just not back early enough on Friday to start at like usual time. So it'll be slightly later. But also Friday stream might end up being actually original Arknights. No way. Because we will have the new event starts tomorrow, and it's a fairly short read. It's like a 2 to 3 hour type read situation. So we can just take a little... We can return to the original for a little bit on Friday and actually do that read. How retro, right? Whoa. Also, yeah, like, dude, the update for Arknights tomorrow has like a billion EN voices. So many. So many EN voices. But yeah, so we'll probably do that on Friday, is actually read through that. I might as well just, you know, I have there's like an appropriate slot for it. For me to read it on Friday, so it kind of works out quite nicely. But for now, thank you for coming, thank you for watching, thank you for chatting, thank you for lurking. Join the Discord if you want to. We'll see Friday, probably, most likely. I'll try to, at least. Hopefully I'm not fucking dead. Bye-bye. Goodbye. It did take a while to read. I remember last year for Beta 1, it also took a while to just read everything. It was a long reading bit. We didn't even get through all the operator profiles. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.